A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia. Claudia, based on the famous plays and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you, transcribed, Monday through Friday, by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Oh, darling, look at Bluff and Shakespeare. Aren't they sweet?
Do you suppose they've been sleeping in each other's arms all night? It's nice to have breakfast, too.
Oh, so it is.
And it's nice to kiss your husband good morning, too.
Good morning, David.
And there's something else that's nice.
What?
Put on your slippers and put on your bathrobe so you don't catch cold.
Oh, that. That's dull compared to other nice things in the world.
Be dull then and put them on.
David, since when are you taking care of me? I thought it was up to me to take care of you.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. It's vice versa. Now go on, put on your slippers.
And insult this lovely white carpet? It's much warmer than any old slippers.
Listen, you future mother.
Very future worse luck.
You do as I say or I'll spank the daylights out of you.
Very future papa, too. Oh, all right, I'll put them on. I know you're not worrying about me.
I'm not, eh?
You're worrying about your heir apparent.
Only he isn't even a parent yet.
No, you're the parent.
Oh, now put on those slippers and that bathrobe.
Oh, all right.
I'll get the paper at the front door.
And I'll get the milk at the back.
And I'll get the mail at the front door.
And I'll get the cream at the back.
What about the eggs?
What about them?
Well, where do you get those?
Store in the corner.
How inconvenient.
Well, the milkman would deliver them, but they're cheaper at the store.
You're such a little housekeeper.
Eggs are 80-something cents a dozen. It's awfully high, isn't it? Gee, if I were a hen, I'd make $1 million. All a hen has to do
If you don't put on your slippers, I'll wring your neck.
All right. I'm putting them on. Do you want yours?
No, I'm getting dressed.
David, isn't this the most wonderful way to live?
Married? It has its advantages.
I don't mean that. I mean everything else.
Oh, there's something else.
I mean living in this apartment. The milk at the back door, the paper at the front door, the extra room for the baby. And look now, the sun's shining in here.
Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare's purring in his sleep. And Bluff is thumping his tail again. Oh, David, this is perfect.
We're very lucky, darling. We have a good long lease, and I guess the milkman will keep coming.
And the sun will keep rising in our bedroom and setting in the living room. And Bertha and Fritz are downstairs and Mama just around the corner. And Bluff likes it here.
Darling, you don't have to itemize our luxuries like a bookkeeper. I'm fully aware of them.
I guess I'm really talking to myself. It's nice every now and then to look at myself in the mirror and say, Claudia Brown Norton, you've got everything in the world to be happy about. You just hang on to them for dear life. David, let's not ever move from here.
The milk and the mail will follow us, but I know what you mean. Only there's one more thing I'd like you to say to yourself.
What, darling?
Claudia Brown Norton, would you please put on your bathrobe and get breakfast for your very happy but hungry husband? Yes, Mr. Carrington. Yes, it's Mr. Norton. Oh? Well, I'll have to have another set of blueprints made for that freight terminal. Oh. Yeah, in a few days.
Hello, David.
Yes. Oh, Carrington on the phone.
Oh.
Yes? Well, of course, one of the most important factors involved is the area of the site. Do you have an air plan of that acreage? No, that wouldn't help. Yes, I suppose the best thing for me would be to come to Chicago. Well, I'll manage, but not for several weeks yet. All right. All right. Those blueprints will be in the mail this afternoon. Yes, Mr. Carrington. Yes. Well, goodbye. Well, he's the kind of man who wants everything done yesterday.
I think you handle him beautifully. He's still very excited about that freight terminal, isn't he?
Looks like it. His lawyers are drawing up the contracts with us. They'll be ready by the end of the week.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, it's a beautiful day. And I've got something to tell you. Oh, something far more exciting than all the freight terminals in the world.
Speak up, partner. What is it?
Well, it's just this. I drove to Eastbrook, Connecticut yesterday. Had lunch with Frost. They have a beautiful place. But that's not the story. After lunch, we went for a drive.
Oh, that sounds fairly harmless.
I thought it would be, too, so I sat back in the car and didn't pay very much attention to what was going on. We'd had deviled crab for lunch, and, well, you know, it plays the devil with me. So we were rolling along, perfectly lovely farm country, there in back of Eastbrook. Trees.
Yes, Roger, I know all about Eastbrook.
Oh, you do?
I know all about trees, too. Just tell me what happened.
Well, I'm coming to that. I want to give you a picture of the whole thing, just as it happened.
As my impatient wife would say, I'm busting to know.
You know, you're getting more and more like Claudia every day. Questions, questions, questions. Well, as I was saying, we were driving along a back road, when all of a sudden, there, around the bend, in a hollow, half shaded by some ancient maples, I saw one of the most charming houses that I have ever come across. Pure salt box, built in 1760.
The real thing.
Down to the last doorknob. David, that house has such a personality, such serenity, such perfection of line. Oh, I fell completely in love with it.
Say, I haven't heard you rave about anything like that in a long time, Roger.
I haven't seen anything like this house in a long time. It's so beautifully set, right in the bend of the road. And it's for sale. There was a large sign posted in front, for sale. Inquire Jared Tucker, Maiden Lane, Eastbrook.
I gather you went in.
It's an old farmhouse. All the original beams, flooring, and the brass. The condition of the house is repairable. Oh, a beautiful job could be done of renovating it, keeping all the original features and details, of course. And I think you could buy it for a song.
Roger, you aren't planning on...
Aren't what?
You aren't going to buy it, are you?
Me? Buy it? Oh, of course not.
Oh.
I've already got a place in Connecticut that I'm trying to sell. The way things are, with my wife, I really don't have any use for a home anymore. Good hotel is so much more convenient.
And what's all this excitement? Besides, of course, your appreciation as an architect.
But don't you see, David? Haven't you caught on?
To what?
It's the perfect house for you.
For me?
Why, of course, for you and Claudia. There's a brook on the place. Claudia would love a brook. She's so delightfully refreshing.
She's so refreshing, she doesn't need a brook.
When I saw the house standing there, every inch authentic, with a long history of fireplaces and families around them, with the walnut tree and the crest of the hill, I knew it was a house for you.
No, but we're getting along beautifully without a walnut tree, and we've got a fireplace.
You're getting a family, too. Don't forget that.
I'm not forgetting. We've got an extra room for the family.
But, David, this is the solution to all your problems.
Problems? We haven't any problems.
Oh, everyone has problems. You're no different. If you haven't them now, you'll get them, and this is the answer to them.
Well, Roger, I've never heard you talking like this before.
Oh, well, I guess I got myself excited about this, and I...
Yes, I'd say you have.
But, David, promise me one thing.
What?
Promise me that you won't make up your mind against it until you've seen it.
It's really something.
Believe me, it is. Oh, David, it's the perfect place for you and Claudia. You can make that house into a veritable little paradise. It has a barn, too.
Are barns a part of paradise?
Barns mean your own cattle. Your own cattle means your own cows, and your own cows mean your own milk. Imagine growing your own milk right in your own barn.
But we've got a perfectly healthy milkman, and our own milk grows right at our back door.
Oh.
Well, which is a good deal more convenient than a barn.
David, can't you be a little more imaginative? Don't you appreciate the difference between a cow and a milkman?
Yes, I see it very well. I've always sort of thought of myself as a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not ready to move yet. Out to the country, anyway. Someday, perhaps, not now. Claudia would be alone all day, and old MacNaughton had a farm. Here's the baby here, the baby there, here chick, there chick.
And Eastbrook is commuting distance to New York, you know.
Uh-huh. Not now, though. I'm glad to hear you don't want me to quit work. Just to live out in the wilds of Connecticut someplace. That's a relief.
You don't think I'm serious, do you?
Well, I've lost my breath, that's all.
You'll catch it. And when you do, you'll realize that I'm perfectly right. David, you can bring up your children in the country with trees and grass, good air, and plenty of space to play in. You'll own some land. You'll have something that you can see and walk on and watch and develop. You'll have a home that's yours. Yours and Claudia's for as long as you want it. And no one can take it away from you.
Except the banks or the mortgage owner or the tax collector.
Not your land. You won't let it go.
But, Roger, we've got a beautiful apartment. We're all set. Just this morning we were talking about
Just this morning you didn't know about this house.
That's the truth. And yesterday morning you didn't know about it.
I wish I had known about it. And knew what I know now 30 years ago.
Oh?
David, you're young and strong, and you're in love. You're just starting out. Get yourself some roots. Don't spend your life borrowing your home from begrudging landlords. Build it yourself. Stake out a piece of this country that can become Norton land and live on it. Then perhaps your life won't scatter to the four winds like so many others. The deepest-rooted trees grow the tallest and the strongest. If I were you, and I could stand here and talk to myself the way I'm talking to you, I'd buy myself a farm. I happen to have seen the one I like. But there are others. Buy one. Have it. Live well and grow with it. You'll have something when you're through.
Well, there's a lot in what you... Thanks, Roger.
Thanks. Thanks for what? For letting a friend do a little wishful thinking. For letting him stand in your shoes and live your life. But just one thing I do want, David. Think it over before you say no.
I'm going up to Redbury tomorrow, Roger. I'll not only think it over, I'll have a look at the house before I say no. Oh, MacNaughton has a farm, and on that farm he has a subway, milk at the door, morning papers, taxi cabs, skyscrapers, adding machines.
These broadcasts of Claudia are adapted by Manya and Roger Starr, and the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney. When you invite people over, they like to have you take it easy. That's one of the many reasons they like to have you serve Coca-Cola. They know all you have to do is to go to the refrigerator and bring out those frosty, inviting bottles. And whether you serve it in glasses or right from the bottle, you couldn't offer more refreshment nor a friendlier welcome, though you paid many times the 5 cents that Coke costs. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For ice-cold Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes.
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense. Dimension X. Can you predict what will come in 100 years? Or in 10? Or in the next minute? Some people think they can. Nuclear scientists, mathematicians, astronomers, biologists. They'll predict the shape of the future. Why? Because they make the future. Because they see beyond the known dimensions of time and space into the unknown. Dimension X. We go ahead now in time to 1965. We're on a vast concrete runway set in the desert of the Southwest. A giant metal ship stands before us, prow pointed for the stars. And in 5 minutes, the signal will flash, and it will tear up through the atmosphere to the outer limit.
Attention. Attention. Clear field for takeoff. Clear field.
5 minutes, Steve.
For takeoff.
We're up, Charlie.
Turn it over. I want to go over procedure again, Steve.
Don't worry, I got it straight.
We'll just make sure.
Okay. I take her up on jets to 50,000, then I cut in the rocket.
No lower, or your tail blast will burn out 3 counties.
I climb 4 minutes on rockets, then start maneuver tests.
Remember that, no more than 4 minutes.
Right.
This ship isn't like those strato rockets you've been testing. She's the first one built for outer space. If she works, she can go clear to the moon.
If I'd have known that, I'd have brought my toothbrush.
Well, not this trip. Now get this, Steve. You've got power there to clear the Earth's gravitational field. But remember, after you cut in the rockets, you've only got 10 minutes fuel. If you go beyond the outer limit and don't save fuel for the return...
I know, I won't get down again.
That's right, Steve. You'll drift off into space. Get that now. 10 minutes fuel.
Gotcha.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, this project is a lot more important than that cosmic ray bomb they're testing out in the Pacific tonight.
The Security Commission brass doesn't think so. I don't see any undersecretaries under anything.
Don't worry. In the long run, our ship will make the CR bomb back-page stuff. But in the meantime, it's just as dangerous. Remember, half the principles in this ship are pure theory, Steve. Slide rule stuff. If anything goes wrong, we may have to scrape you off the landscape with a soup spoon.
You have a charming sense of humor.
Now, here's what I'm getting at. We're risking your neck in this test. If anything blows, we don't want to have the next man pull the same boner.
I know, Hank.
So keep your mic open and keep talking. If anything goes wrong, we want to know exactly why. And we won't be able to ask you. Let us know before you pull every switch. Before you do anything. You got that?
Yeah.
Even if you only have to blow your nose.
All right, get those fuel lines away.
Okay, Mr. Crow.
Well, I guess that's about all, Steve.
Hey, that reminds me. Look, if Mary calls, I'm just up on a milk run. I didn't tell her today was it.
How is she?
She's okay, but she's due about now, and I don't want her to be nervous.
Hey, I didn't know the baby was that close.
Yeah?
Steve, I really ought to be sending a single man on this job.
What, and cut me out of a soft paycheck? Forget it, Hank. You know you can't get anybody else who can take 15 G's acceleration when those rockets cut in.
Yeah, I know. It's time, Steve.
Yeah. Well, see you later. Don't worry, Hank. I'll sweat for both of us. Button her up, Charlie. So long, Hank.
So long. We'll give you the light from control.
Are you there yet, Hank?
Okay, Steve. Got you on the speaker. I'm ready to go.
Mr. Hanson.
Ready on radar, Sergeant?
Mr. Hanson, you better see this.
What is it, Elsie?
Message center for Steve. Mrs. Weston just left for the hospital.
What? Hello, Steve.
Yeah.
Stand by a minute.
Shall we hold the takeoff, Mr. Hanson?
What? Oh, yes. No, wait just a minute. It's too late now.
You going to tell him?
Maybe he's got enough to worry about.
Hey, what's holding us up, Hank? Something on your mind?
No, it's nothing, Steve. I just wanted to say good luck. Clear for takeoff, Charlie?
Right.
Okay. Give him the light. All right, Steve, I'm making you clear.
I'm at 40,000. Airspeed 600. She's running fine. Soundproofing works. There's a third-degree waiver in the AGY pressure.
Got that, Charlie?
Check. Dead center on radar, Mr. Hanson.
50,000 now. Cutting out the port jet. Now the starboard. Off jets. Airspeed dropping. Opening the rocket ports. Switch sticks a little, Charlie. Oxy alcohol pressure at 350. All right, now I'm advancing the ignition key. There goes rocket one.
Steve, you all right?
Yeah. Looks like somebody slugged me with a sledgehammer. Airspeed now 1,200. Here goes number 2.
Hello, Steve. Elapsed rocket time is now 4 minutes. What's your altitude? Over to you.
Speed 4,400. Still climbing. Altitude 297 miles.
All right, you're at the outer limit. Level off for maneuver test. You've got exactly 6 minutes fuel left.
Okay. Starting a 3-degree left bank. It's a little sluggish. There, it's all right now. There's a low vibration someplace. Maybe the cockpit hatch. Now I'm straightening out.
5 minutes fuel left.
Now I'm starting a 3-degree... Hey!
What's the matter? What's wrong?
There's something up here. Something shining.
What are you talking about?
There's something above me, Hank. I'm going to chase it.
Steve, you're at the outer limit now.
I can see it plain now.
Steve, don't go any higher. You've only got 4 minutes left. You've only got...
Getting static. I can't hear you, Hank. It's dead ahead now. Going to make a pass at it. Get a good look. Hey, it's swerving to meet me. It's dead ahead now. It's dead ahead.
Hello, Steve. Steve, come in.
9 minutes fuel gone.
Still no sign on radar.
Hello, Steve. Steve, what's happened? Charlie, get out the crash squad. Tell the Army squadron to alert their search planes.
Right.
9.5 minutes gone.
Hello, Steve. What's happened? What the devil is it?
Charlie,
Hello.
for Mr. Hanson.
Come in, Steve.
We need a search squadron.
Come in.
No, Mr. Hanson's busy.
Hello, Steve.
10 minutes, Mr. Hanson. That's the end of this fuel.
How long's it been now?
10 hours, Mr. Hanson.
Nothing more on radar, Sergeant?
Screen's blank.
Colonel Corelli called in. Search planes are back. They didn't find anything.
Should be some trace.
He couldn't have bailed out, could he?
You don't hit the silk at 4,400 miles an hour. Either went past the outer limit, ran out of fuel. Something blew, and we'll find the pieces scattered from here to the coast. Why does it have to be the best man? Always the best man.
I'll get it.
Charlie, we've got to figure out what was wrong.
All right, I'll tell him.
Something must have blown. Yeah?
There's a message from Northside Hospital for Steve.
Well, what is it?
Mrs. Weston's fine. It's a boy.
Thank you, Elsie. It's a boy, Charlie.
Oh.
Fine. It's a boy. He didn't even know she went to the hospital. How am I going to tell Mary that?
Wasn't your fault, Mr. Hanson. Ship had to be tested.
Yeah, we'll build another one, and some other flying fool will shoot past the outer limit into space. Oh, I'm getting old, Charlie. You can remember when I used to take them up myself. Now I've got to send other men.
It's a job, Mr. Hanson.
Now I'm afraid. Every time I hear a jet go off, I jump. Every time I have to send someone up in a new model, I start to sweat.
Mr. Hanson.
Yeah?
I think there's something on the radar.
No flights scheduled in, are there, Elsie?
We have the whole day cleared.
It's coming in behind her. Here it comes over the building.
What crazy jockey is buzzing the field like that? Is that an Army plane, Charlie?
I can't see.
It's turning.
Charlie, alert the field.
I know that engine. Steve.
That's impossible.
Look, that's his ship.
It can't be.
Well, there's no other model like that. It's Steve, all right. He's coming in.
Thank God. Thank God. All right, sit down, Steve. The quicker we get this done, the quicker you get over to see Mary and the baby.
Hank.
Elsie, give the order to check and refuel the rockets. I don't want anybody in here till I get Steve's reports. Bury any calls. All right, let's have it. What the devil happened to you?
Hank, does that cosmic ray bomb still go off tonight?
What are you talking about? Straighten out, Steve. Where you been for the last 10 hours?
Listen, Hank, there's something more important.
Come on. I've got to get a report on the screen to Washington, so let's have it. I've got to know how you stretched 10 minutes fuel to keep you in the air for 10 hours.
Now, one thing before I talk.
Look,
have the
Steve.
Geiger men run over the ship before they refuel.
What'd you run into?
So help me, Hank, I don't know. But we better check and make sure it isn't radioactive.
Elsie, add a Geiger report on the standard check. Steve, maybe we better have the doc look you over, too.
No, I'll be all right. They said I'd be all right.
They? Look, son, I know you've had a tough time, but we've had this field on the alert for 10 hours. One of the Army boys cracked up looking for you, and he's hurt bad. So let's have the story. Let's have it straight.
I don't know how to tell you. Hank, I saw something up there.
At 300 miles?
I chased something up there, Hank, and I caught it.
Now, don't hand me that,
Listen,
Steve.
I was cruising along, just starting the right bank, when I spotted something. It must have been going about half my speed. It was egg-shaped and smooth. I made a pass at it, and I was coming back for another, and then there was a humming sound.
Humming?
A sort of vibration. And I blacked out. I was headed straight for it at 4,400 miles an hour. I thought it was going to be the biggest smash since Hiroshima, and I guess there a drink in that bottle.
Never mind that, Steve. What happened?
I came to inside their ship.
Uh-huh. Steve, this whole thing has been a devil of a strain on you. I'm going to call Major Donaldson from the Army base. Ask him to sit in.
Psychiatrist? Yeah, that's a good idea. Let him run his tests. He'll tell you I'm not kidding. Because, Hank, unless I miss my guess, I've just been tipped off to the way the world ends.
All right, Mr. Weston, suppose you continue your story.
Yes, let's have it, Steve. You woke up inside the ship?
Yes, and the place was jammed with machinery. Dials, blinkers. I couldn't recognize anything.
And you were surrounded by these men from Mars?
I didn't say anything about men from Mars. I didn't even say they were men. I couldn't see them clearly. They were just there.
Where did they come from, then?
Another galaxy. Millions of miles outside of our solar system. That's all I know. You figure out where they came from.
And they came all that distance to find the Earth?
Yes.
Did they tell you that?
Yes.
You mean they spoke English to you?
No, they didn't. It's funny. Hadn't thought. They didn't really speak to me at all. They just planted the thoughts in my mind.
You mean thought transference, telepathy?
Yes, that's right.
Well, Steve, what brought them here?
We did, Hank. We rang their bell. We brought them in.
Well, how?
With our atomic explosions. Hank, that's why you've got to stop that bomb test tonight.
I'll give up.
Look, you've got to believe me, Hank. Oh, how can I make you understand?
Maybe I can help, Mr. Weston. Would you submit to narcopsychometry?
What's that?
Under proper drugs, I can put you back in this ship by suggestion. Then we can get a playback record of your memory pattern on the audio circuit.
And how long will that take?
Half an hour. We'll have to go over to the lab.
Will you believe me if it checks?
It will give us an accurate memory picture of what your mind reports.
All right, let's go. Hank, you got to believe me. We haven't got much time.
You should be getting drowsy now. Count backwards from 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6.
He's under. Now we attach the head plate electrodes. The cortical pickup. Look out for that wire, Mr. Henson. 3-0 setting. 31.3. Now throw that switch, Mr. Henson. I have to start him off by suggestion. All right, Steve. You're in your ship now. You're in the rocket.
Rocket.
You're in the rocket. You're in the rocket. And you've just sighted something strange.
Now I'm starting at 3 degree right.
What's that?
Hey, there's something up here. Something shining.
His memory pattern. We're picking it up electronically.
There's something above me, Hank. I'm going to chase it.
It's piped through the audio circuits.
I'm getting static. I can't hear you, Hank.
This is where we lost contact with him.
I'm going to make a pass at it and... Hey, it's swerving to meet me. It's dead ahead now. It's dead ahead.
Now what?
This is where he blacked out. There's no telling how long, minutes or hours.
What's that noise?
I don't know, quiet.
Where? How did I get in here? What? Who are you?
Is he seeing things?
Intergalactic Patrol. What's that?
What are they saying, Steve? What are they saying?
It's about nuclear fission. They know about it. They know the danger of it. Long ago, they had wars that almost destroyed them. But finally, they learned. Now they've outlawed war.
Go on, Steve.
They patrol space. When their detector picks up an atomic explosion, they send a patrol.
What are they going to do?
They've quarantined us.
Quarantine?
They've isolated the Earth. Because we don't know how to control ourselves yet. Until we learn, we'll be a menace to the whole universe.
What is this nonsense?
How are they going to do it, Steve?
They've spread a layer out here of... I don't know how to call it. All around the Earth. It's miles deep. When there's an atomic explosion on Earth, the radioactive particles will drift up to this layer and set off a chain reaction. It'll go around the world in microseconds. And that's the end.
The end? What's he...
Wait. Yes. I understand. I've got to bring back the warning. You're going to put me back in my ship to bring the warning.
Now what?
Blacked out again. I guess that's all.
What does all that mean?
It's what he remembers.
You don't think that really happened?
No. Narcopsychometry circuits produce what he remembers. It just means that Steve believes this happened.
I don't like to see this. I've seen too many tough pilots snap. Steve is the best I've known. How bad do you think he is?
Frankly, outside of the presence of this well-organized hallucination, there's no sign of unbalance. May not be too serious. If he had a more plausible story, I'd be inclined to believe him.
Warning. Hank.
It's all right, boy.
Did you hear it, Hank? You understand?
Sure. We've been quarantined.
Let me give you something to make you sleep, Steve.
Don't you understand? They fixed it so that if we set off one more nuclear explosion, that'll be it.
Of course. Don't roll your sleep down.
You don't believe me.
Now, take it easy, Steve.
But the test tonight. They're setting off the CR bomb. Hank, what time is it?
11:20.
Well, it's scheduled for midnight. Hank, we got to stop that bomb.
Steve, let Donaldson give you the hypo.
Hank, you've got to believe me. I saw them. I got the warning. If we touch off that bomb tonight, it'll be the biggest galactic 4th of July of all time. The whole Earth will go up like a Roman candle. April 10th, 1965, the end.
Now, look, Steve, you better calm down. Don't you want to see Mary and the baby? You've got a new son, remember?
Yeah, that's just it, Hank. I want to see my son. I want him to live. If that bomb goes off...
Hank, we've got to stop them.
Mr. Hanson, I think we'd better get over to the base hospital.
Hank, you've got to believe
Yeah,
me.
sure, Steve. Maybe there is something to it. Look, it's out of your hands. I'll put it in a report and shove it into Washington in the morning.
In the morning? There isn't going to be any morning, Hank. Don't you understand? You've got to call Washington now. Get the head of the Security Commission and postpone that test.
Now, you know I can't do that, Steve. My neck would be out a mile. Besides, this is 1965, not 45. 20 countries have atomic bombs now. What's the use of stopping just this one? The rest will keep right on popping them.
Well, we'll have to call an international conference. Can't you understand, Hank? The first one that goes off finishes us at the end. They've given us the quarantine warning.
Steve, I think you'd better go with us to the base hospital.
Look, Steve, we can call up for a detail if we have to.
All right. I'll go with you. You don't need a straitjacket.
That's the way, Steve. You'll probably feel better by morning. Let's go.
Well, Steve, tomorrow I'll drive you over to the hospital to see Mary and the kid.
Sure.
Look at the ship under the floodlights. Pretty, huh? You'll be flying her again soon, don't you worry.
Yeah, I guess so. What you doing out in the line? They refuel her?
Yeah, we got Clausewitz coming in tomorrow from Denver for another test. Figured we'd give you a day off.
That's good. That's
Fine. Steve, come back. Come on, Donaldson. Steve, wait.
He's heading for the rocket. Look, there he goes up.
That crazy fool. We can't get at him now. That covers armor glass.
He's waving.
Yeah, towards control. It's the radio. He means the radio. Come on.
I should have gotten help.
Well, the radio still hooks up here. Hello, Steve.
Listen to me, Hank. You gotta call Washington now.
Come out of that rocket, Steve.
I'll call my men.
Don't try anything, Hank. They refueled the rocket for tomorrow.
Take it easy, Steve.
Listen, you know what'll happen when I fire the rocket tubes down here?
Steve, don't.
It'll burn out every building for 5 miles. All of us in one big flash.
Steve, what do you want?
You've got to stop that bomb. You got to call Washington right now.
They won't believe me.
You make that call or I cut in the rocket. Now, I mean it, Hank. Now, hook my screen to yours in parallel. I want to see exactly what you're doing.
All right. Just don't fire those rockets.
Get going, Hank. You got 12 minutes to make that call and stop that bomb.
All right, I'm making the parallel hookup right now. Donaldson, you think he'll really blast?
I don't know. Up to now, I'd almost say he was normal, but now he's liable to do anything, Hanson.
Steve, there, you getting it on your screen?
Yeah. Now, put that call through.
All right.
Operator.
Visit screen to Washington.
The visit-screen circuits are busy, sir. If you'll try again in half an hour.
This is Security Commission priority. Break in, get me a line.
Yes, sir. Just a moment, please.
10 minutes, Hank.
Listen, Steve, I'm trying.
We're ready to take your call, sir.
Washington, Security Commission 3. This is urgent. I want Undersecretary Herbert Ames.
Washington 3. 1 moment, please.
Hurry, will you?
1 moment, please.
What time is it, Donaldson?
11:51.
Do you think he'll fire those rockets?
He might.
Washington?
Visit screen 3. Mr. Herbert Ames, please.
That is a coded exchange. I cannot accept your call without clearance.
Get it through, Hank.
Listen, Washington, put it through. This is Mr. Hanson at San Marco Air Base. This is a priority call. I'm coded.
1 moment, please. I will check your code number.
Get that through, Hank, or that bomb goes off at 12.
Will you be reasonable, Steve?
Your call has cleared, San Marco. Washington, visit screen 3. Herbert Ames, please.
Security Commission Ames.
Listen, Ames.
Hello, Hank.
Ames, you got to get me to the chief.
Are you kidding? He's at the test control room.
Yes, I know, but get him for me.
What's up? You look lousy. Or is it a bad circuit?
There's no time. I've got to get him before the test. It's about the CR bomb.
I can't take that responsibility.
Get that through, Hank, or I blast.
Hey, what's going on there?
Ames, my project has a high enough rating. This is a priority A call.
What? Well, okay, it's your neck. I'll try to get him for you. He's in the control room, so you'll have to switch off your screen and speaker and go on earphones. Too much going on in there. Security ruling.
You hear that, Steve? I've got to cut the incoming screen.
All right, but don't try anything. 8 minutes, Hank.
Hello. What?
You got him, Hank?
Yes. This is Hanson at San Marco. No, sir. Priority A request to cancel the bomb test. No, I'm serious. This is deadly serious. We sent the X-2 JTR up today to the outer limit. We uncovered evidence. Yes, on the automatic instruments. What's that? No, possible chain reaction. No, I can't tell you the whole story. There isn't time here. Yes. I'll bring the readings into Washington in the morning. You've got to postpone the test till you see them. Look, I've worked on contracts for the Commission for 10 years. Yes, I have complete confidence in my information. You can record that. All right, I'll call you back immediately. Bye.
Hank?
He's agreed to cancel, Steve. The bomb won't go off. All right, boy. You can come down out of that ship.
He's opening up. Here he comes.
All right, Steve. Come on down.
Sure, Hank. Just a second. Hank, I was scared. I was plain scared.
Easy now. It's all over. The bomb won't go off.
Thank God. Look, I want to see Mary and the baby. Can you get me transportation now?
Oh, wait a minute. It's almost 12. They won't let you in the hospital now.
I want to see the baby.
Sure you do, but you've been under a strain. I've got a shot for you here, Steve. Give you a good night's sleep. All right. Roll up your sleeve.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, that'll make you sleep. Sergeant will find you a bed.
Yes, sir. Come on, Mr. Weston.
Okay. Good night, Hank. I'm kind of beat. It's been a tough night.
It sure has. I thought for a minute he was going to blast those rockets and send us all to Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Quite a stunt getting the ray bomb test called off.
It isn't called off.
But the chief said...
Ames couldn't get the chief. I was talking to a dead circuit. Bomb goes off in a couple of minutes.
Oh. Poor Steve. He was one of the best.
He was the best. 1 in 10 million.
Some story of his, poor guy. For a while, he almost had me believing that quarantine. That's a very common delusion. End of the world.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's a nice night. Never saw the stars so bright.
We better be getting in. That wind is cold.
Well, the bomb goes off in 30 seconds. Poor Steve.
You know, Hanson, there's just one thing.
Yeah?
It's outside my field, but I'm curious. How did he keep that ship in the air for 10 hours with only 10 minutes fuel?
You have just heard The Outer Limit by Graham Dorr, an adventure in time, space, and the unknown Dimension X. Now, about next week. Have you ever heard of the Mark III? The amazing electronic brain at Harvard that instantly solves the most complicated scientific problems. Suppose you had a mechanical brain like that in your house. A robot that was always at your service, so that you could just sit with folded hands and relax the rest of your life. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Perfect. That's what they thought when it happened in the year 2006. But they were wrong, terribly wrong. How? I'll tell you next week. Tonight's story, transcribed on Dimension X, The Outer Limit by Graham Dorr, was adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Joseph Julian as Steve, Wendell Holmes as Hank, and Joe DeSantis as Major Donaldson. Your host is Norman Rose. Music was by Albert Berman. Sound designed by Sam Monroe. Edward King directed.
Tomorrow, here's Sam Spade. Now it's Truth or Consequences on NBC.
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense.
Dimension X.
Have you ever heard of the Mark III? The amazing electronic brain they're using now up at Harvard University. In mere minutes, it can solve scientific problems that our most brilliant mathematicians would take years to work out. Its intelligence is almost superhuman. And yet the scientists are already working on a new and improved model, the Mark IV. In fact, they tell us there's no earthly reason why these thinking robots can't be perfected until they become the servants of the future, capable of doing all the work of mankind. Yes, that's what the advertising billboard said in the year 2006. Housework made easy by the perfect domestic servant. Modern Mechanicals Agency, Harry Underhill, President. The billboard showed a smiling family, sitting with folded hands, watching their mechanical robot pour their morning coffee. But in the home of Harry Underhill himself, things weren't quite as pleasant at breakfast this day.
I just can't understand it, Aurora. Look at this. Modern Mechanical's down 3 points. Yesterday, Smithson canceled his order. If I could only figure out why.
Why don't you ask him? Well, Frank, there, eat your oatmeal.
Oh, Mom.
I just don't understand it. Business was good, and then boom. Some louse must be undercutting my prices, that's all.
How many robots were canceled?
Not robots. Mechanicals, Aurora. How many times...
They are robots, aren't they?
Please, Aurora, there's an important difference in sales psychology.
Maybe people are getting wise to your robots and mechanicals.
What do you mean, Aurora?
The perfect domestic servant. They're ugly, stupid, clumsy, walking junk piles.
Aurora.
The one you brought home to me can't even wash the clothes properly. It's more trouble than it's worth.
Aurora. You know our mechanicals are the best on the market.
Those animated tin cans you sell? They're certainly not making us any fortune.
Well, with this new model, things are bound to pick up a little. If that Jarvis order just comes through...
Oh, that robot of yours. There's something knocking again.
Hey, wait. Put that plate back. I haven't finished my breakfast yet. Wait!
Harry, you know you've got to say stop. Stop! You always get excited. You think you never saw a robot before.
Not robot, mechanical.
All right. Look, it's not its fault. We just took too long to eat. Timing relay is set for 15 minutes.
Never mind. I want my coffee back. Set. There. Isn't that simple? It bends at the waist, stretches out its arm, and picks up the coffee pot just as if it were yours. Hey, watch out!
And spills it right in your lap.
Oh, my clean suit, Aurora. Oh, no.
Harry, you know it's relayed to announce dinner after it sets the table.
Hey, there goes my coffee again. Stop. Set.
Harry, you can't give it 2 orders at once.
What's that smell?
They must be a short. Now see what you've done. Got it all upset.
I did. All I said was...
Harry!
Stop! Oh, it's no use. The brain coil's shorted out.
Oh, do something. Harry, do something.
I sure will. I'm going to the office. I'm getting out of here. Yes, Lucy?
Mr. Jarvis,
Oh, put him on.
Hello, Underhill?
Hello, Mr. Jarvis. I'm glad you called. I was just going to ring you. Well, I've got that whole shipment of mechanicals for you. 1 gross plane, 12 of the chromium fitted.
Hold on, Underhill. I'm canceling the order.
But the invoice is made out, and
Well, tear it up. I'm canceling.
But why?
Underhill, there's a brand new mechanical on the market that makes yours look like something out of a museum.
Oh, now, look here, Mr. Jarvis.
Don't look me, Underhill. I've seen them, and I'm telling you it'll put you out of business. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes, Mr. Underhill?
That's the third cancellation today. The world's going to pot.
Yes, Mr. Underhill?
No, never mind, Lucy. I'm going home. Another day. I wonder if Aurora'd smell it on me if I ducked into Garrigan's. She's got a nose like a beagle. Hey, that building wasn't here last week. Humanoid Institute. The perfect mechanical. Oh, no. We didn't have enough competition. Hey, these must be the cutthroats that are underselling me.
At your service, Mr. Underhill.
Huh? Oh, you startled me. Didn't hear you. Hey, you're a mechanical, aren't you? Not bad, not bad. Very lifelike.
Won't you come in, please, and examine our service?
Yeah, that's a remarkable voice. They've licked the variable inflection problem. You know, I'm in the same line myself. Mechanicals, I mean.
We're aware of that, sir.
Oh? Hey, some building you've got here. You sure got it up in a hurry.
The Humanoid Institute at your service, Mr. Underhill.
Yes? Oh, how'd you know my name?
For us, that was not difficult.
Oh, is that so? Oh, wait a minute. This is ridiculous. Talking to a mechanical. Must be somebody inside operating you by remote control.
No, Mr. Underhill. Of course, there is Humanoid Central, which powers and controls all of us, but that is located on Wing 4.
Wing 4?
A planet in a remote part of the galaxy.
Oh, yeah. Well, may I see your salesman, please?
We employ no human salesman, sir. We ourselves can accept your order for immediate humanoid service.
Oh, wait a minute. You can't expect me to buy one. I'm in the business myself.
There will be no more need for your electronic mechanicals, sir. Once you have accepted our service, you will no longer have to work. Everything will be done for you.
Everything? That's quite an offer. At that rate, you'll have trouble supplying the demand.
I think not, sir. As you can see from our storage room. Humanoids are now arriving at the rate of 5,000 per hour from Wing 4.
5,000 per hour?
We are anxious to introduce our complete service on this planet, sir, to bring happiness to everyone. May we come out to your home for a free trial demonstration?
No, I admit you're remarkable. The voice, the movement, graceful even. But I'm still in business, and what's more, I wouldn't have you around the house.
I'm afraid you will have no choice. Sooner or later, it will be necessary.
Oh, is that so? Over my dead body, let me out of here.
At your service, Mr. Underhill.
Well, it's going to be tough competition, all right. I'm going to stop in at Garrigan's, the devil with Aurora's nose.
Oh, hi, Pop.
Hello, Frank. How was the football game?
We won, 78-3. Guess what, Pop?
You made all the touchdowns.
Nope. Mom took in a boarder.
She what? Aurora!
She said if your business was going to fall on his face, she had to do something to make some money.
So she did, huh?
Harry, what's all the racket for?
You tell me. What's this about a boarder?
Shh, Harry. He's going to live in that little apartment over the garage.
Oh, no, he isn't. You know I don't want any strangers around here.
Harry, please, shh. Look, he won't bother you. He's a nice old man.
Oh.
He just wanted a room and a place to work. He's an inventor, I think.
Oh, he is he? Did he pay in advance?
Well, he can't. You see, his royalties haven't started to come in.
Mm-hmm. Aurora, how can you be taken in by every beat-up old panhandler that gives you a sob story?
Mr. Sledge isn't like that at all. Oh, that reminds me, dear. Can you give me a 10?
A 10? What for?
Well, Mr. Sledge is ill. He needs some medicine for his heart, and I said I'd lend him the money.
You get... Oh, Aurora, this is the limit. He goes out right now.
Now, don't be unkind, Harry. Besides, we need the rent money.
Things aren't that bad yet. He goes.
Please, shh.
What are you shushing me for?
Mr. Sledge, he's in the next room. I've invited him for dinner. Frank, dear, wipe your mouth.
Oh, Mom.
More gravy, Mr. Sledge?
No, thank you, Mrs. Underhill.
Mr. Sledge, my wife tells me you're a traveling man. Expect to move on soon?
Harry.
I had hoped to do a little work, Mr. Underhill. You see, I've applied for basic patents here on Earth for a very important development.
Oh, a new invention, huh?
Yes. My field is rhodomagnetics.
What?
Rhodomagnetics. It's a new force field theorem, key to the second triad of the periodic table. Rhodium, ruthenium, and palladium.
I'm afraid I'm a little rusty on my science.
It's well known in other parts of the galaxy, but I've been able to apply for basic patents here.
Worth millions, huh?
Perhaps you find it strange that the holder of such valuable property should be in need.
Well, yes.
I'm a refugee, Mr. Underhill. I arrived on this planet only a few days ago.
Mm-hmm. But you will be shoving on again.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Harry.
That's all right, Mrs. Underhill. I understand. After all, I am an intruder in your home. And if it inconveniences you at all, I'll find some other place to sleep and set up my workshop.
Harry, your robot is spilling the coffee again.
I'll have to have it tightened up.
Why doesn't your company bring out a better mechanical? One smart enough not to spill things. Wouldn't that be splendid?
The perfect mechanical already exists, Mrs. Underhill. They are not so splendid, really. They are why I am a refugee today.
Oh? Where did you say you came from?
Wing 4.
Wing 4? Oh, then you must mean those humanoids.
Humanoids?
Mr. Sledge.
Humanoids? What do you know about them?
Well, they just opened an agency here in Two Rivers.
No.
Harry.
What is it? What's wrong, Mr. Sledge?
Give him some water. It must be his heart.
Call Dr. Winters, Aurora.
No. I'll be all right.
Here, you better sit down.
I'm sorry. It was just shock. I came here to get away from them.
The humanoids?
Yes. I wanted to finish my work before they came. But now, I won't trouble you any further.
But, Mr. Sledge, Harry, he's sick.
Well, Mr. Sledge, I don't think you'll have to go right away.
He can stay, Harry.
Sure, after all, the way those humanoids are coming along, I'm liable to become a refugee myself any minute. Guess we might as well stick together, eh, Sledge?
Oh, that's better. Oh, you look ill, Professor. Maybe you ought to lie down on the sofa and rest.
No, thank you. I must get back to my workshop now. I haven't got time to rest. There's so little time left for all of us.
Good morning, Mr. Underhill.
Good morning.
Mr. Underhill, you look awful.
I feel awful. What's in the mail?
6 more cancellations. The Eat Quick restaurant chain sent back your shipment. They've installed humanoids. Mr. McIntyre from the bank called. He's refusing your loan. He said since Humanoid Institute opened, you're a bad credit risk.
Great.
I guess that's all. Oh, there's something to see you.
At your service, Mr. Underhill.
You? Oh, no, you're not the same one, are you? Serial number's different.
It doesn't matter, sir. We're all really one. Now, in exchange for our complete service, you will assign all your property to Humanoid Institute.
I will what?
With our service, you will have no need for property. Everything will be provided.
What kind of blackmail is this?
No blackmail, sir. You will find humanoids incapable of committing any crime. We exist only to increase the happiness of mankind.
Thanks, but I can take care of my own business.
You have no choice, really. With humanoid service, it is no longer necessary for men to take care of themselves. Our function is to serve and obey and guard men from harm.
Get out.
Very well, sir. When you wish to sign, let us know.
Get out. Get out. Aurora, I'm home.
At your service, Mr. Underhill.
What's the idea of this? You get out of here. Aurora!
Mrs. Underhill has accepted our free trial demonstration. We cannot leave unless she requests.
We'll see about that. Aurora, where the devil are you?
Oh, hello, Harry.
What's this mechanical doing here? What's happened to you?
Isn't it wonderful? Had my hair done, the manicure.
But-
The humanoid did it. And cleaned the house all over, washed all the clothes, and gave Frank his music lesson.
Now, wait a minute, Aurora. I won't have this monster in my house.
Oh, it's just a free trial, Harry. Just wait till you taste the dinner it cooked. Everything you like best. Roast duck.
I don't care if he cooked a... What?
And the most complicated pastries. I could never cook like that.
Well, you might as well eat. But I'll need a drink first, though.
All right,
I'm sorry, sir.
What?
We exist under the prime directive to guard men from harm. Alcoholic beverages in excess are bad for human consumption. We have taken the liberty of removing them from the house.
Now, look here.
Mr. Underhill, dinner is served.
Yes, Lucy?
They're here, Mr. Underhill.
I've been expecting them for a week. All right, Lucy.
At your service, Mr. Underhill. We have the legal papers here, the bankruptcy forms, the eviction notice. We are ready now to foreclose your agency.
Okay, take it over. A lot of good it'll do you. I haven't made a sale in 2 weeks.
And now, if you will make the assignment of all your personal property, we can complete our service to you.
What if I won't sign?
That would be unfortunate. But with stubborn cases, we must sometimes resort to other methods. Eventually, Mr. Underhill, you will sign.
Of all the darn, stinking darn...
Whoa, Frank, what's the matter? What's the trouble, son?
That old humanoid.
Oh, you're not happy? You should be. It's guaranteed.
They took away my football. They said it was too dangerous to play with it. And my roller skates and my scout knife and everything.
Did they leave you anything?
Just some stinking old plastic blocks. Soft blocks. They said I couldn't get hurt with them. Dad, I want my football back. Can't you do anything?
I don't know, son. I don't know.
Oh, Mr. Underhill.
Mind if I come in, Sledge?
No, not at all. You mind if I keep working?
Oh, go right ahead. It's good to see somebody working with his hands.
Something wrong?
My son. The humanoids took his football away. They're everywhere. They've smashed my business, taken over my house. Sledge, isn't there some way to get rid of them?
That is exactly what I am trying to do.
You? What makes you think you can do anything?
Because, you see, Mr. Underhill, I'm the unfortunate fool who started them.
You? I don't understand.
I started the humanoids. And I've been running from them ever since.
You started them?
Yes, I invented them. I built the ronomagnetic relays that operate Humanoid Central.
But why?
I wanted to bring happiness to humanity.
Happiness? That's great. My wife's been crying for 2 days, and do you know why? Because she's bored stiff. There's nothing left for her to do. They won't even let her lift a little finger.
I don't blame you for feeling bitter, Mr. Underhill. It's all my fault. I wanted them to serve and obey, guard men from harm.
No, they do that all right. They've even emptied our medicine chest. It wouldn't do for one of us happy humans to end it all with a sleeping pill.
Mr. Underhill, I've made the most terrible mistake a man can make. But I meant well, believe me.
Then why did you do it?
I thought I could rid the universe of poverty and hunger by inventing the perfect mechanical.
They're perfect, all right. Too perfect.
Yes. That's the trouble. They obey the prime directive too literally. They kill men's souls with their kindness.
Isn't there some way they can be controlled?
No. I didn't trust mankind, so I made sure that Humanoid Central could not be tampered with. Not even by myself.
Then what hope is there?
Only one. They are not creative. They can't meet new ideas.
You mean you've got one, Sledge?
Yes. They can defeat anything they know about. But I've got something new. A weapon to attack the brain of Humanoid Central.
Is that what you've been working on?
Yes. Now that they're here, there's little time left. Either we destroy them, or they will destroy us.
Okay. What has to be done?
This tuning circuit.
Hmm?
You see, I need 2 bus bars here. Oh, can you read these diagrams?
I think so. Got my degree in electronics.
Good. If you could help on the bench work, it would save time.
I've got plenty of time now.
All right. But watch yourself. Don't let them see you come out here.
If you can take the risk, so can I.
No. As the inventor, I built a special immunity for myself into Humanoid Central. But you don't have that immunity. They have rather unpleasant methods of dealing with their enemies. They can change you, you know.
Change me? How?
Brain surgery.
What do you mean?
Never mind. Just be careful.
Mr. Underhill.
What do you want?
You're going to meet with Mr. Sledge?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm going to collect the rent.
Mr. Underhill, you have spent the past 2 afternoons in his room. In view of your association with Mr. Sledge, we feel that our free trial must be terminated. We suggest that you accept our total service and make the assignment of your property immediately.
And if I don't?
Then, sir, we may be forced to resort to other methods.
Well, give me one more day to think it over.
Very well, sir. Tomorrow. That will be your last chance.
Who is it?
Underhill.
Did they see you?
No, not today. Sledge, we've got to hurry.
It's difficult work, Mr. Underhill, but I'm almost finished.
They gave me till today. They said they'd use other methods.
What's that?
The humanoids building some kind of a warehouse across the road. Sledge, are you sure this thing will work?
It's a new principle, Underhill. A tuned rhodomagnetic light beam. It should act to fission the heavy atoms of the basic ores and wing forward. It will destroy Humanoid Central.
But are you sure?
I know the humanoids. I made them. They can't invent anything. They can't create defenses against something new. It's done. It's finished, Underhill.
You going to use it now?
Immediately. I'll have to feed the astronomical data into the calculating circuits. There must be zero error in focusing.
What will happen?
Wing 4 will disappear in a chain reaction. Humanoid Central will be destroyed. They'll stop. Ready now. Stand clear, please. Power's building up. Step on the rubber mat, Mr. Underhill. You must be shielded when I cut in the full power load.
Hurry, Sledge.
I've waited 30 years for this moment, Underhill. When Wing 4 is destroyed, the humanoids all over the galaxy will stop. They'll stop dead. You won't hear those drills.
Sledge.
All right. Now. Do you hear anything?
Sledge. Listen. The drills have stopped. They've stopped. You can see them. The humanoids have stopped.
They couldn't guard against something they couldn't understand. It worked, Underhill.
We're free now. Goodbye, Wing 4.
Humanoid Central is destroyed.
At your service, Mr. Underhill.
No, Sledge.
Get out of here. Get out.
You were attempting to break the Prime Directive. It is therefore necessary to interfere.
But you stopped. I saw you, all of you.
In order to guard against Mr. Sledge's beam, it was necessary to stop all units momentarily to concentrate power. That necessity has passed.
But it was new. You can't invent anything new.
No, sir, but we were able to adapt the screening principle you yourself invented. For the past 30 years, Humanoid Central has been screened against any energy attack.
All these years wasted. All these years.
Your immunity has ended, Mr. Sledge. It will now be necessary for you to accept our full service.
No, I'll stop you. I'll stop all of you.
No, Sledge.
I'll stop you with my bare hands. I'll kill you
Sledge,
all.
no, it's no use.
Do not worry, Mr. Underhill. At worst, he can destroy one unit. There are millions more.
Sledge, you'll hurt yourself. Sledge!
I'll kill him.
He's sick. It's his heart. You, get a doctor.
Until he surrenders, we can neither aid nor hinder Mr. Sledge. Do you surrender your immunity, Mr. Sledge?
Have to. Last chance. Gone. Yes. Help me. Help me.
At your service, Mr. Sledge. You may see Mr. Sledge now, Mr. Underhill.
Alone?
If you wish. In here.
Thanks. Sledge.
Well, Underhill. Good to see you.
Your head. It's bandaged.
Is it really?
They've done something to you. Are you all right?
Oh, fine. Never felt better.
You never felt better?
No. In fact, I feel 10 years younger today.
You sound so happy.
Why not? These humanoids have made a new man of me, Underhill. They're wonderful, aren't they?
Wonderful? How could you say that, Sledge? Only yesterday you hated them. You were trying to destroy them.
Destroy them? Why?
You don't remember? You've forgotten what they're doing to us all? They're killing us with kindness, taking away all our incentive and pride of accomplishment, turning us all into pampered, useless pets, parasites, with nothing left to do but just sit with folded hands at the mercy of these mechanical monsters.
At your service, Mr. Underhill. You seem troubled, Mr. Underhill. Are you unhappy?
Unhappy? You bet I'm unhappy. What have you done to Professor Sledge to turn him into this babbling idiot?
We were forced to operate. For years, Mr. Sledge has been suffering from a benign tumor of the brain. It caused him to have hallucinations, to believe that he was actually the creator of the humanoid.
Did I?
Yes. It was these delusions which were making you unhappy.
Oh. Well, whoever did invent the humanoids, I certainly owe him a debt of gratitude now.
Sledge.
You see, Mr. Underhill, we have ways to correct these abnormal conditions. Even Mr. Sledge is happy now.
You operated on his brain?
Yes, Mr. Underhill. And now we are at your service.
At my service? You mean you're going to operate it? No.
The time has come for you to accept and enjoy our complete service. You will now sign our agreement.
Look here,
If you are unhappy, it only takes a simple operation.
No. Who said I was unhappy? I'm very happy. I'll sign your paper. You don't have to operate on me. I'm happy. I'm very happy. Very happy.
The happy Mr. Underhill's futile hands clenched and relaxed again, and then folded quietly. There was nothing else left for them to do.
You have just heard the Jack Williamson story, With Folded Hands, an adventure in time, space, and the unknown world of the future, the world of Dimension X.
Now, about next week. Do you believe that in the mind of man there lies a force potentially more powerful than the atomic bomb? And perhaps someday, in the not-too-distant future, a man, sitting quietly in his room, just thinking, may generate enough mental energy to control the destiny of the world. How? We'll tell you next week.
Tonight's story on Dimension X was adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Featured in the cast were Philip Burnoff as Harry Underhill, Alexander Scorby as the humanoid, Peter Capell as Professor Sledge, and Bryna Rayburn as Aurora. Your host was Norman Rose. Tomorrow, hear Sam Spade. Now, it's Truth or Consequences on NBC.
It's a long way from the magic island of Euclidia to Hollywood, California. But the presence of the Euclidean scientists in Hollywood has reduced that distance to nothing. When Jerry and Joan went on a tour of Hollywood Boulevard, giving Joan her first view of the world in which most of us live, and contrasting sharply with her life on the island, the plan was to see a moving picture show. That plan was rudely interrupted, however, for as the youngsters stood on the corner of Hollywood and Vine Streets, a newspaper extra told the world of a strange event. 2 submarines have been found in the channel just outside Los Angeles Harbor. They must be Euclidean submarines, and a man who is disguised as a blind street vendor is identified by Joan as one of the Euclidean scientists. The young couple are in Mrs. Gregory's car, rushing to her home with the news.
Jerry, you are doing very foolish things with this motor car.
Well, I want to get to your mother's house, don't I?
But you are breaking many of the rules you told me about.
Well, this is the time to break them. Your mother and Captain Bradford can explain to the police. They'll see that it's time to hurry.
All this is very confusing to me. On Euclidia, all things were in order. Here in your world, all things are mixed up.
What's wrong now?
There are so many different names on the intersections of the streets.
You couldn't have all streets with the same name, could you?
But it would be possible to use only numbers, would it not?
It would not. The way some people write, the post office never would figure out where a letter was going.
But how does anyone ever learn all of these things? Oh, Jerry!
Oh, what's the matter now?
Nothing. Now? You nearly struck that other car.
You mean he nearly hit me, but he didn't. Well, here we are at your mother's house.
And I am glad.
Huh. After all the things you took me riding in on Euclidia, all those trick elevators and stuff, you've got a lot of nerve to talk to me about a little fast drive.
That was far different. On Euclidia, everything is mechanically perfect. Here, the human element is given too many opportunities to make mistakes. And your driving is a mistake.
Oh, okay. I'm a mistake. But here's the house. Fall out.
Fall out?
Yeah, get out. Jump out. Come on, hurry up.
I wonder if Mother and the Captain will be here.
That's what I was wondering. You know, if they've heard about those submarines, they might have taken out for the harbor on the run.
Perhaps we should have gone directly to the harbor.
No, I think they'd want us to come here.
Jerry, do you just attempt to open the door and go into anyone's home?
No, not every day, but this is an emergency.
You might save time by ringing the bell.
Oh, so you learned we got doorbells in this country, have you?
To be sure. Mother let me ring the bell nearly all morning.
Huh. Fine business for a 15-year-old girl, ringing the doorbell all morning.
I had never seen one before.
I'll bet the servants love that, learning to answer a bell all morning.
They did not do that. Mr. Johnson explained to them that I was only experimenting with it.
Some experiment. Well, maybe you had fun ringing it, but I can't get a sound out of it.
If you would open the door as I had it this morning, you would hear the bell ring.
Yeah, and if I could open the door as you had it this morning, I wouldn't need the bell.
Jerry, it opens.
Sure it does.
Come in quickly, both of you.
Mother, we have news.
Now here.
Gee, what's all the mystery?
Follow me into the radio room and I'll tell you. These stairs are steep and dark, so be careful.
Now, Mrs. Gregory, what is it?
Sit down there, Jerry, and you over here, Joan. I'll sit near the radio set so that I can use it quickly as text calls.
Where is the captain?
Now, one thing at a time. You've never seen this room before, have you, Jerry?
No, Mrs. Gregory.
And of course, Joan's never seen it.
No, Mother.
Then a few words of explanation might be in order. This room is soundproofed for a number of important reasons which I haven't time to go into now. However, I think that the various activities surrounding us this minute are of sufficient importance to warrant using this room for all of our discussions.
Then it's all right to say anything we want to in here, huh?
Perfectly safe, Jerry.
Okay. They found our submarine.
And the other which followed us to California.
Yes, we know that.
I thought you would. Got it over the radio, huh?
No, Johnson is at the harbor. He phoned us before the radio stations or papers had the news.
But they did find the subs.
Well, at least someone saw them, though Johnson was sure no one had been near enough to examine them.
Why were those submarines exposed in that manner?
That's what Johnson and Tex are trying to find out now.
Captain Bradford's going down the harbor?
Yes, he left the moment Johnson phoned.
What does the captain expect to learn?
Well, the most important thing is to determine whether any of the Euclideans left that submarine. we may find that they've landed a number of scientists here in town.
I'll bet they did at that. But there was one they didn't have to land. He's been here all the time.
Thales?
That's the one.
And, Mother, we have seen Thales.
You've seen him?
Joan said it was Thales.
Well, did he see you?
He spoke to us.
Spoke to you?
Uh-huh.
Well, when? Where?
Hollywood and Vine.
What was he doing?
He was disguised as a blind man.
See, we got an extra about the subs, and this blind man came over and asked us to read our paper to him. Well, I thought he was blind, so I read him the headlines and a little about what happened.
But you're sure it was Thales?
Perfectly sure, Mother. I know him well, and while he was reading the paper in Jerry's hand, I was able to see his eyes behind the glasses. It was Thales, without doubt.
Did he know you recognized him?
I am sure he did not, Mother. I gave no sign of recognition, and I did not tell Jerry what I had seen until Thales was some distance from us.
Well, I don't see where it makes any difference. He knew who we were, all right. He must have been following us all the time we were walking around the boulevard.
And if he saw you hurry off to us with this news, he'll know that you recognized him.
I think not. It was only natural that we should hurry to you with the news of the submarines.
Yes, well, that's so.
Well, I was a little surprised when Joan told me who he was, but now that I've had a little time to think it over, I'm not so surprised at all.
No, Jerry, it's only what we might have expected, and Captain Bradford was right. He didn't want you two to go out alone today, but I overruled him.
Oh, we didn't get hurt.
And I see no reason for any fear of Thales. Like all the other Euclideans, his interest in us is only relative to his interest in the captain's formula.
But don't you understand, Joan, that if they could kidnap you or Jerry, or any one of us for that matter, we would sacrifice the formula to secure your release?
Gee, I never thought of that.
Nor did I.
I've thought of it every minute since you've been gone.
Well, we weren't taking much chance, though. Joan and I'd be a couple of pretty noisy people to kidnap on Hollywood Boulevard in broad daylight.
Of course we would not allow such a thing to happen to us.
Oh, I know you think you wouldn't. But suppose you discovered you were late for the show or late for dinner coming home. You wouldn't take time to look in the rear seat of the car very carefully, would you?
Golly whiskers, Joan. Your mother's right. If we hadn't run for the car the minute after we saw Thales, why, he might have hidden on the floor in the back.
That is true. And that is one more danger in your strange country.
Our strange country?
Yeah, I had that all morning. After all the danger and crazy things we went through on that island, Joan thinks it's more dangerous on Hollywood Boulevard.
Well, she may be right. On Euclidia, you're aware of your constant danger and take steps to protect yourself. While in this country, you wander carelessly around the streets without a thought of such things.
That is exactly what I was trying to explain to Jerry.
Oh, I can see it now. And it sure puts us in a hole.
We're in no danger as long as we remain in this house. We're guarded by automatic devices as clever as any on Euclidia.
Why do you have such a mysterious house, Mother?
Yeah, I asked her that a long time ago, Joan, but I didn't get any answer.
And I'm afraid the answers must be just as unsatisfactory this time, Jerry.
I think, Mother, that you and the captain are engaged in some enterprise which you prefer to have kept secret.
That's something like it, Joan, but more than that I can't say, except to assure you that whatever it is, it's entirely honest and to our credit.
Oh, sure, we know that. But I'd like to know a little more. Are you government agents?
Now, Jerry, please, no more questions.
Oh, okay.
And now I must call Tex.
You will not use the radio, will you?
No, that might be too dangerous. I'll use our private phone line to the station in Wilmington. Either Tex or Johnson will be there.
Well, Mrs. Gregory, I don't mean to butt in, but if Tex and Johnson are busy down at the harbor, well, I don't think you ought to bother them with our news.
Jerry is correct, Mother. Thales can do us no harm now.
Well, I know all that. But it may help Tex to be fully informed. And not only that, I want to test this line. It may be tapped.
How can you tell if it is?
One of the captain's inventions. He has developed an instrument for testing the balance of a line which is so delicate that even a piece of metal touching that line at any point will register.
The captain is very clever.
Boy, and am I glad he is, with all the stuff that's going on around us now.
I'll set the automatic recording device and you may hear our conversation.
This is indeed a well-equipped communication chamber, Mother.
We use the recorder to transcribe important messages delivered while we're out. Now, if you'll both be very quiet. Hello, Wilmington.
Wilmington.
Jerry and Joan safely returned home. News of submarines is on the street.
Getting extras here
Any progress?
Not much. Johnson is working from amphibian plane. Water is apparently free of submarines now. What from your end?
Thales talked to Jerry and Joan on Hollywood Boulevard.
Repeat.
Thales talked to Jerry and Joan on Hollywood Boulevard.
Right. Any disclosures?
None. He is disguised as a blind man, apparently following them at all times.
Keep them home. Stay there yourself. Give the servants a week off. Set the automatic controls for the entire estate.
Servants gone. Control set. We will remain within the house.
Good. I'll call you at half-hour intervals, except return at sunset. Check your disturbance graph.
Checked. The line is open somewhere.
I thought so. That is all. Wilmington.
Now we can talk freely.
You were right. That phone line had been tapped, and those Euclideans, or one of them, must have heard all you said.
Undoubtedly, but we didn't say anything they didn't know.
The captain has learned very little at the harbor.
Oh, I'm not too sure of that, Joan. Tex sounded to me as if he could tell us a great deal more than he did.
Well, that phone line being tapped sure proves one thing to us. Daly's isn't the only Euclidean spy in town.
How does it prove that?
Well, he hasn't had time to get from the boulevard over to where he could tap this wire.
Quiet, Jerry. Watch that green light in the corner. There, see it flash?
Yeah. What's that?
The alarm. And it's the inside alarm. Someone is through the outer alarm and in this house.
But, Mother, how could they get through the outer alarms?
I had the gate open for you and Jerry. I set the alarms and closed the gates as soon as you came up the drive. I'm afraid you, too, had company.
Gee, we did forget to look in the back of the car, and I'll bet it wasn't empty.
The magic island of Euclidia seems to have as much effect on the lives of our friends in Hollywood as it did when they were on the island. Jerry and Joan went out in the afternoon, and one of the scientists met them on Hollywood Boulevard. When they rushed home to tell Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford that a newspaper extra is on the street with the story of the finding of their submarine, they found Mrs. Gregory alone. The house is protected by automatic alarms. The captain is down at the harbor trying to get further news of the submarine. As Mrs. Gregory explains the alarm system to Jerry and Joan, the signal light flashes in the radio room. Someone has managed to get inside the ground and is entering the house.
Yes, there it is again. Someone is getting into the house.
Well, let's go and do something about it.
Wait, Jerry, wait. We're quite safe in this radio room.
But, Mother, suppose they enter rooms where your valuables are kept.
We have a number of little surprises that will prove very interesting to anyone who goes too far. And we might do something very foolish if we tried to interfere just now.
You mean we just sit still and let the alarm catch whoever it is?
Well, something like that.
Is that possible, Mother?
Almost, Joan. If you'll notice that board where the green lights were flashing, you will note that there are a number of such small lights, and every one of them represents a room or a corridor in this house.
Then the progress of the person breaking in is visible to us at all times.
Exactly.
That's a swell idea, to be able to tell just what room a burglar's in. But what good does it do if we just sit here and let him go through the rest of the house?
Well, there is one room, the study on the second floor, which will be easier to get into than to get out of.
Gee, a trap, huh?
You might call it that.
Will this person be caught in that room, Mother?
Yes. Our most valuable possessions are in that room, and naturally, anything we have which would attract the attention of a person clever enough to get into the house at all must be in that room.
I think we may safely admit the probably high intelligence of this person who is now going through your house.
Well, if it's one of those blame Euclideans, he'll be plenty smart, all right.
And I believe it is one of those Euclideans.
Mother, Jerry, there goes another of the green lights.
Yes, that's the main stairway. Apparently, our friend is making straight for the study.
I hope he gets into it quick. How does the trap work?
Well, every door and window in the room is closed by a steel panel the moment the room is entered by anyone who does not know how to set the switches before entering.
And those steel panels will hold the prisoner safely until you are ready to release him.
Exactly. Captain Bradford designed it, and we've caught a few burglars that way.
I wish he'd hurry up and get in there. Which green light is for that room?
Well, it's the center of the board, and is slightly larger than the others.
I see it.
So do I. Say, the light right next to it went on.
Yes. The study will be the next room entered.
Will another signal show when the steel panels have closed?
When that happens, an alarm gong will ring.
Will we hear it in the soundproof room?
Yes, Jerry. It's connected in here.
How long should it take?
Any moment now.
Say, Mrs. Gregory, I thought I saw the light next to that one flash on and off.
Next to it?
Yeah, just to the left of it.
There it is again.
Why, you're right. But I can't understand that. Why would anyone pass that room and start on down the service stairs?
Well, I don't know the answer, but from the way those lights are going on and off, he's leaving that room behind and leaving it fast.
May we not go out and intercept him, Mother?
Oh, I think not yet, Joan. If he hasn't entered that room, nothing of value has been touched, and we might find it very dangerous.
If it is someone clever enough to know that that room was a trap, Might he not be clever enough to imprison us in this room?
Yeah, that's an idea. Maybe we're in the trap ourselves.
No chance of that, Jerry. In an emergency, this entire side of this room can be made to open out merely by pushing on it. And at the same time, alarms are rung at the police and fire departments. I think you'll find that we can get out.
This is sure some house.
It is indeed. I am surprised, Mother, that you and the captain should seem so impressed with the things you saw on Euclidia. You have nearly the same type of thing here.
Only in a few instances, Joan, dear. The captain is clever, but he's only one man, while Euclidia is a colony of the world's greatest scientists gathered for a purpose and devoting their lives to science.
That is true.
Well, that reminds me of something I've been wanting to ask you for a long time, Joan. If they're great scientists from all over the world, then a lot of people must know them. Why doesn't somebody worry about where these men are or ask questions about them?
I've often wondered about that, Jerry, and so has Tex.
I think I can answer that, or partly so.
Then hurry up and do it. The way things happen to us, I think we need all the answers we can get.
Are any of G47's men well known to the world, Joan?
It is my belief that a number of the scientists on Euclidia are men who have been well known in various countries of the world.
But if that's true, why didn't we recognize them? Tex knows most of the prominent men in science throughout the world. He's worked with many of them in laboratories and on expeditions. And surely he would have seen someone he knew on the island.
Well, the only thing about that is that all those Euclideans have that funny way of talking. They all use high, squeaky voices.
There you have hit upon the answer, if my belief is true, Jerry.
What do you mean, Joan?
For some time, in fact, since I have grown old enough to understand that there was another world than Euclidia, I have felt that everyone on the island was wearing a disguise and were disguising their voices.
Gee, maybe some of the men we saw on the island are men from this country.
They are from every country, of that I am sure. And most of them are men and women, famous men and women of all countries who have supposedly been lost with expeditions, or who were passengers on ships which were supposed to have sunk.
Supposed to have sunk?
Yes, Mother. I am sure that many famous people who were supposedly lost at sea and in the air are now associated with G47 on the island of Euclidia.
Golly whiskers. What an idea that is.
It's tremendous. Think what it would mean to the world if it could be proven that many of the famous characters of the last 10 or 20 years, supposedly lost forever, are members of G47's colony.
But why would they do a thing like that?
There are many famous people in all lands who are not satisfied with their lives, or who feel that they would have a greater freedom for their scientific work in such a colony as Euclidia.
I can understand that. But how did they learn of Euclidia? How did they reach the island, become members of the colony without the rest of the world learning of it?
Yeah. How did they know about Euclidia and how to find it?
I believe that G47 has ways of communicating with those persons whom he believes valuable to him.
But, Joan, G47 made it very plain that he considers Captain Bradford important. Yet he made no effort to get him to come to Euclidia.
He came to Euclidia, did he not?
Sure, but that was looking for you.
And how did the news that I was on the island reach you?
Joan, you're right. Why, you must be right. G47 allowed the news of your life there to reach us when he decided the time had come to have Captain Bradford on the island.
Precisely.
And if that's right, then old G47 will keep trying to get Tex or his formula until he does get it.
I think so.
It looks very much as if our experiences with G47 have only started.
Sure looks like it. That old guy sure hangs on to an idea when he gets his hands on it.
And, Jerry, I think you are wrong about that also.
About what?
You always say old G47. I think that if the truth were known, G47 is a young man. I am sure he is under 40, and his beard and heavy glasses are worn only as a disguise.
G47, a young man?
Well, if he's under 40, he's certainly a young man, at least in the professional or scientific world.
Well, that sounds like it might be true. There ought to be some reason for those funny voices all those Euclideans use, and if they're doing this as a disguise, that makes sense.
Indeed it does. But we'll have to forget that for a minute and remember where we are. Our visitor has left the house.
Oh, Mother, we were careless in talking so long. Now all those little green lights have gone out.
Oh, I wanted to go and catch that fella a long time ago. Now it's too late.
No, Jerry, that wouldn't have been wise. We're better off here. The alarm system showed that the study was not entered, and whatever our visitor came after, he didn't get.
Yeah, but don't you
Wait a
think...
minute, quiet, Jerry, quiet, please. Both of you be very quiet. Hello, Wilmington. Ready. Go ahead.
I've just made some important discoveries which I can't give you now. Have you had a visitor this afternoon?
Yes. The alarm system showed steady progress through most of the house. Jerry, Joan, and myself remained in this room.
That is excellent. Do not leave that room until I arrive.
When will that be?
Within the hour.
Isn't there anything we can be doing?
Nothing, except stay in that room. Do not leave it for any reason, and do not open the door.
I understand.
Johnson may arrive before I do. He has full instruction, but do not attempt to come out and meet him. He will release you. That is all.
That is all. Well, Tex certainly feels that we're in danger.
Yeah. He said not to leave this room.
Does that mean that the intruder whose progress we followed with the alarms has managed to secrete himself within this house?
Well, I would say no. Definitely no.
Then how's he going to hurt us if we go out of this room?
Well, I think it's highly probable that he's left some sort of trouble waiting for us out there.
That could easily be done. And the captain would know that if the element of danger to us had been safely placed from the outside, it may be safely removed from the outside.
That's it, Joan.
You mean that guy left some sort of a trap out there that's set to do something to us when we open the door? But if Tex waits for Johnson to get us out, we'll be all right?
That's the way I see it, Jerry.
And I feel that is correct.
Then it must be right. But why didn't the fellow, whoever he was, take his time and go through the study while he had us penned up in here?
Well, I think we'll find that this visit was purely one of testing our strength. An attempt to get our secrets would have been more carefully planned.
That is reasonable.
Maybe. But it looks to me like there wasn't much wrong with the way this one was planned.
The captain will be here within the hour, he said. Surely we can wait that long.
I know blame well I can.
And I, Jerry. There's no sense in running into a danger we know exists.
But one thing I'd like to know is how Captain Bradford, way down there at the harbor, knows more about what's going on here than we do.
That had occurred to me also.
And I'll have to refuse to answer. There are many things about this home and our system of communication which would add to your knowledge, but it would also add to your danger. And for the present, I feel that you're safer if you know very little about what's going on around you.
Oh, I guess so. But I'd still like to know.
Mother, what is that peculiar odor?
Odor, dear?
Yes. You're right, Joan. I can smell something.
Well, I wonder...
Smoke.
Jerry.
I'm sure it is, Mrs. Gregory. I can smell smoke.
No doubt of it. There is smoke in this house.
Why, this room is supposed to be airtight except for the air conditioning.
Do you suppose that fellow set the house on fire?
Oh, I don't think so. But even if he did, we stay here.
Stay in this room with the house burning?
Yes, this room is fireproof, and it will stand alone if the rest of the house burns to the ground, and the study will do the same.
Are you sure it's safe to remain?
Nothing is ever absolutely safe where fire is concerned, but I'm sure we're safer in here than we would be trying to get out.
Well, I don't like it much. My idea about fires is to try getting out of them.
Would it not be wise to open the door slightly and investigate?
No, sit still, both of you. Tex said for us to stay in this room, to keep that door closed, and we'll stay here if the house burns down around us.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today, the mystery surrounding the story of the century has Clark Kent completely baffled. We'll join him in a moment as he tries to untangle the threads. But right now, let's join another friend, Dan McCullough.
You know, when you wake up in the morning and see the good golden sunshine streaming through your window, well, you've got a head start on a happy day right then and there. And when you come to the breakfast table and see your heaping bowl full of sunny, golden toasted Kellogg's Pep, why, you're pretty sure to feel even more cheerful, because Pep tastes a doggone good. It's crisp and tender and full of that wide-awake flavor, not to mention the good whole-grain nutrition in every serving, plus more than twice as much vitamin D1 as in sun-ripened whole wheat, plus your whole daily minimum need of sunshine vitamin D. plus the exciting prizes in every package of Kellogg's Pep. Yes, sir, comic buttons, a brand new second series of true-to-life pictures of your favorite funny paper characters. Boy, what a load of fun it is to collect the whole second series and trade duplicates with your pals. And how easy these comic buttons are to get. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. All you do is to make sure Mom gets you some of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep, and there's your prize inside the package. Remember, that's P-E-P, Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
At the moment, Clark Kent feels as if he were on a merry-go-round as he attempts to solve the most baffling mystery of his entire career. The latest incredible development was the sudden appearance of Lois Lane in Kent's office at the Daily Planet hardly a second after she had finished speaking to him on the telephone, presumably from the other end of Metropolis. As we continue now, determined to get an answer to the amazing enigma, Kent, after warning Jimmy Olsen not to say a word, begins questioning Lois.
Now, let's take one thing at a time, Lois. First, who smashed up your apartment last night?
Who what?
Who overturned the furniture, smashed the lamps, and pulled out all the drawers?
I don't know what you're talking about, Clark. Please.
All right. Where were you last night?
With my sister Diana.
You were not?
I was.
I called your sister's apartment. Nobody answered.
I'm sorry, but I spent the entire night with Diana. She's sick, and neither one of us budged. Please.
Okay, let that go. Now, about the $10,000, the second $10,000.
What?
Didn't I just talk to you on the phone, and didn't you tell me to get the money down to 407 Clover Street, Mrs. Walsh's rooming house, immediately?
Clark, are you crazy?
Answer my question.
Who's Mrs. Walsh?
Oh, stop saying Gleeps, Jim.
But Gleeps, she just said...
I know what she said. Keep quiet, please. I'm going to get to the bottom of this if it's the last thing I do. Now, look, Lois, let's go back a step. To the first $10,000.
What first $10,000?
That you phoned for earlier this morning, a couple of hours ago.
I phoned for $10,000?
Well, you know you did. You said you were working on a terrific story and you needed $10,000 in cash immediately.
Why, of all the... Clark, have you gone crazy? What's come over you?
I mean, you didn't call? Not even the first time?
I didn't call the first time or the second time or any other time and ask for $10,000. As a matter of fact, I haven't used a telephone since I left the office yesterday. I've been taking care of Diana.
Gleeps.
Oh, will you please tell me what this is all about, Clark?
I'm beginning to get a vague idea, but it doesn't add up. Apparently someone impersonated you, too.
What do you mean, me, too?
Well, someone impersonated the chief last night.
What?
Yes, last night about 10 o'clock I got a phone call. I was sure it was White. Same voice, inflections, everything. He told me to pick you up at your apartment, come to his house at once. He said something big was going on and dangerous, and he warned me to be very careful.
Yes?
Well, I got in my car and drove to your place. When you didn't answer the switchboard phone, the doorman and I went up to your apartment. The door was unlocked, and the place looked as if a cyclone had struck it. The rug was heaped up, the furniture overturned, all the drawers pulled out.
Good heavens, I thought you were joking about the apartment.
Listen, that apartment's no joke. It's a mess.
What was stolen?
Oh, nothing. As far as I could see, all your clothes were there. Your jewelry hadn't been touched. Nothing seemed to be missing.
I don't understand
No,
it.
neither do we. I can't explain why they made a wreck of your apartment, Lois, but I think I know why someone impersonated your voice.
Why?
To swindle the Daily Planet out of $10,000. I mean, $20,000. Great Scott.
What is it, Clark?
The chief. He took $10,000 in cash to that rooming house this morning when he thought it was you who phoned for it. The crooks must have been waiting for it.
Good heavens.
Either they forced him to call me a little while ago and demand another $10,000, or whoever impersonated him last night called. Either way, he's in trouble. I've got to get down there at once. I'll call you as soon as I can.
Wait a minute, I'm going with you.
No,
Me
nothing's
too.
doing. I can get there faster alone.
Don't be ridiculous. A taxi can carry 2 passengers as quickly as one.
They can carry 3, too.
You're not telling me anything, Clark. I'm going with you, and that is that.
Oh, well, all right, come along. No, not you, Jim.
But
Someone has to stay here in case we have to call in.
Oh, gee whiz.
Come on, Lois.
Hey, wait, your phone's ringing.
Take the message. I can't wait.
Okay. Hello, James Olsen speaking.
This is Murray White, Jim. Is Kent
Oh,
there?
Mr. Kent, come back. It's Mr. White.
Who?
Mr. White, the chief.
Thanks, Jim. Close the door, Lois.
Wake up, Olsen. I want Kent. Is he here?
He's right here, Chief. I mean, Mr. White. Listen, are you okay?
Of course I'm okay. Stop wasting time and put Kent on.
Give me the phone, Jim. Give it to me.
Clark, wait a minute. It might not be the chief. It might
Leave
be.
it to me, Lois. Leave it to me. Hello, Chief.
Kent, what in tarnation told you?
Why haven't you brought the money down here?
I
was delayed. The cashier wouldn't issue a draft without an order from you.
I called that blithering idiot Darwin a half hour ago and told him to draw the money from the bank and give it to you. You mean to say he hasn't done it yet?
Well, it takes quite a while to get to the bank and back.
How long does it take? Confounded, I've got hold of the story of the century. Of the century, do you hear me? And if that annotated Darwin makes me lose
Here he is now. Come in and close the door, Darwin.
Yes, Mr. Kent. Has he got the money?
Just a moment. Did you get the money, Darwin?
Yes, sir.
He's got it.
Good. Grab a cab and rush it down here at once. At once, do you hear?
Right. Are you still at 407 Clover Street?
Yes, Mrs. Walsh's rooming house.
Is Lois with you?
Never mind about Lois. You just get that money here and don't lose a second. Goodbye.
Was it Perry Whitecross?
I don't know. Sounded like him. But so did the man who impersonated him last night.
We better call Inspector Henderson.
No. Not yet. I'll go down there first. You stay here, Lois.
I will not, and that's fine.
All right, then come along. But hurry, will you?
Just a moment, Mr. Kent. You're forgetting the money.
I changed my mind, Darwin. I don't want it.
But I just went to the bank, and Mr. White...
Put it back in the bank. Come on, Lois. Step on it.
$107 Clover Street. That'll be $1.60, man.
All right, here you are, driver. Keep the change. Come on, Lois.
Much obliged, Mac.
Okay.
Is this the place, Clark?
Yes, this is the place. Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Something's wrong.
Wrong?
Yes. Something's very wrong. I can't figure this out.
Startled, Clark Kent stares at the shingled house, his X-ray vision perceiving something which Lois Lane cannot see. We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode. But first, here again is your announcer.
Say, my pal Rusty ran past me like a streak of lightning this afternoon. I thought maybe he was going to a fire or something, so I yelled, Hey, Rusty, what's up? Well, he skidded to a stop just long enough to tell me that he was on his way over to Pee-wee's to trade a Jigs comic button he just got for Pee-wee's duplicate Popeye button. How about that? Yes, sir, Rusty was sure in a big rush to get that Popeye button to add to his collection. You know, that's one of the brand new second series comic buttons that come in packages of Kellogg's Pep. And all the kids are mighty busy these days, starting their collection of all 18 of these buttons in the new second series. Each one has a true-to-life picture of one of your favorite funny sheet characters. Each one is brilliant with full comic strip colors. Mighty smart-looking when you pin them on your jacket or your dress or cap. And are these new comic buttons easy to get? You don't send in any money, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere. All you do is to ask Mom to get you plenty of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. And look for your prize inside every package. There's a comic button, a prize for you in every package of P.E.P. Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, made by Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
As Clark Kent and Lois Lane left the taxi in front of 407 Clover Street, Kent, making use of Superman's X-ray vision, suddenly stopped and stared at the shingled house. Now, a puzzled frown clouding his face, he has mounted the few steps to the door, followed by Lois.
Clark, what is it? What's the matter?
This house.
What about the house?
Well, when I was here earlier this morning, there were dingy curtains in the windows and a hand-lettered sign, rooms for rent.
Yes?
Well, now there are Venetian blinds on the windows, and the rooms for rent sign is gone.
Oh, so what? They might have just put the blinds up. And empty rooms don't stay empty long these days.
Oh, but this brass plate on the door, it says, John Simmons, teacher of piano. It wasn't here before.
Well, maybe he just moved in.
Oh, there's something else. Wait a minute, I'll ring the bell.
Now, look, do you think we're being very smart? I mean, what if the crooks are waiting in there for us?
Here comes someone.
How do you do?
Oh, how do you do? Is Mrs. Walsh in?
I beg your pardon?
Mrs. Walsh, the landlady of this rooming house.
I'm afraid you've made a mistake, young man. This is a private residence.
What? Private residence?
And a piano studio. I'm John Simmons.
But Just a moment, Lois. Isn't this 407 Clover Street?
Yes.
And this isn't a theatrical rooming house?
My dear young man, I've just told you it isn't.
But I was here less than 2 hours ago.
Well, you couldn't have been here,
I tell you I was. Look, do you mind if we come in for a moment, Mr. Simmons? There's something very strange about this.
Not at all. Come right in.
Thank you.
My studio is to the right.
Just a moment, Mr. Simmons. This reception room, what happened to the wallpaper?
What wallpaper?
When I was here earlier today, there was paper on the walls, faded paper with big blue flowers on it.
Oh, Claude.
My dear young man.
There was, I tell you, and there were autographed pictures of old-time theatrical stars on the walls, and the furniture was broken down wicker stuff. This modern furniture wasn't here at all.
I assure you, young man, you're mistaken.
I tell you, I'm not.
I've occupied this house for 18 years.
Look,
there was never paper or theatrical photographs on my wall.
I saw them.
There was never any broken-down wicker furniture in my reception room, and this has never been a rooming house.
But there was
Is that quite clear?
Yes, it's clear, but I don't understand it.
Bewildered, Clark Kent was the kindly middle-aged music teacher, and then at the neat, orderly reception room. A room in which he is sure less than 2 hours ago stood a woman who called herself Mrs. Walsh and who spouted quotations from Shakespeare. A room with dingy wallpaper and broken-down furniture and faded theatrical photographs. What can this mean? What can all of this amazing riddle of impersonators and mysteriously wrecked apartments and false leads mean? Well, fellas and girls, see if you can guess the answer to the mystery which is even baffling Superman. And be sure to listen tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, to The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Say, if you want your dog to tag right along with the gang, if you want him to be strong and husky, don't let him eat just to fill up. Mix his scraps of meat and fat in with Grow Pup dog food. You see, Kellogg's Grow Pup has what it takes to help keep a dog hitting on all fours, and it's full of swell, meaty flavor that most dogs like. Besides, there are 3 different kinds of Grow Pup. Grow Pup Ribbon, Grow Pup Meal, and Grow Pup Pellets. Ask Mother to start feeding your dog Kellogg's Grow Pup today. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today, as the mystery surrounding recent events at the Daily Planet deepens, Clark Kent is at 407 Clover Street trying to find some answer to the problem. We'll join him there in a moment. But right now, let's see why Dan McCullough's young pal Rusty is mumbling to himself.
Maggie, Jigs, Andy Gump, Hans, Fritz, Popeye.
Hey, Rusty, what are you doing?
Me? I'm memorizing.
Memorizing?
Sure, I'm trying to learn the whole list of funny paper characters. You know, in that new second series of comic buttons Kellogg's Pep is putting out?
Well, sure, but how come?
Well, I figured if I learned all 18 in the series, I'd know which buttons to look for, and I know which ones I'm missing in my collection.
Hey, that's a swell idea. How many have you learned?
I'm not doing so well yet. I just started.
Well, have you tried learning them in groups?
How do you mean?
Well, you know, if you learn, say, 5 at a time, lots of folks say it's easier that way.
Oh, I see. Learn a group like Maggie, Jigs, Andy Gump, Hans, and Fritz before I try to learn the rest.
Sure. Then your next group would be Olive Oil and Popeye, the Little King, Lord Plushbottom, and Uncle Willie.
Then Emmy, Rip Winkle, Pop Jenks, Superman, like that?
Sure. Bet you find it easier. And I'll bet you're not the only one in the gang who's that hepped up about this brand new second series of Pep comic buttons. They're so bright-colored and clear-cut, and it's so much fun to collect and trade duplicates with your pals. All the up-and-coming fellows and girls in our block are mighty busy with their collections. But remember, there's only one way you can get these exciting comic buttons. You can't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in a single penny, not even a box stop. You just make sure Mom keeps stocked up with plenty of Kellogg's Pep, and you'll find your prize in every package. Ask Mom for P-E-P, Pep.
the Sunshine cereal, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
Baffled as he has never been before, Clark Kent is trying to discover who impersonated Editor Perry White on the telephone, wrecked Lois Lane's apartment, impersonated the girl reporter, and finally was responsible for the disappearance of Perry White, who was last seen leaving the Daily Planet with $10,000 in cash, presumably en route to a theatrical rooming house at 407 Clover Street. Certain that White is in the hands of clever swindlers, Kent, accompanied by Lois, hurried to that address. But to his amazement, 407 Clover Street turned out to be not the theatrical rooming house he had visited earlier that morning, but the residence and studio of a Mr. John Simmons, a piano teacher. Puzzled, Kent studies the paneled, tastefully furnished reception room, and finally turns to Lois and Mr. Simmons.
I can't understand it. When I was here less than 2 hours ago, this room was twice the size it is now. It had faded wallpaper and autographed pictures of old-time actors and actresses, and the furniture was falling apart.
You're mistaken, young
And it was
man.
a theatrical rooming house. I talked to a Mrs. Walsh, the landlady, in this very room.
You're mistaken, young man.
I tell you, I'm not.
I've occupied this house for 18 years. There's never been any paper on the walls or pictures of theatrical people or broken down furniture.
Now, look.
Nor has there ever been a Mrs. Walsh here.
But, Mr.
Now,
Simmons...
just a minute, Clark. Is Mr. Perry White here, Mr. Simmons?
Who?
Perry White, editor of the Metropolis Daily Planet.
I never heard of him.
There, you see, Clark, we've obviously come to the wrong place.
But I...
Now, apologize to Mr. Simmons and we'll be going.
Oh, there's really nothing to apologize for. We all make mistakes.
I couldn't have made a mistake.
Will you stop being a stubborn mule?
Look.
Really, once he gets an idea in his head, Mr. Simmons, there's just no budging him.
So I see.
I don't understand it.
Stop repeating that, Clark. Now, come on. We've lost enough time. We've got to find the chief. Well, are you coming?
Oh, all right. I guess I did make a mistake.
It's quite all right. I'll show you to the door.
Can't figure this out, Lois.
I can.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you when we get outside. Well, goodbye.
So long.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. All right, snap out of this, Clark. You'll fall down the stairs.
Oh, I'm all right. Don't worry about me. Look, what did you mean when you said you knew what had happened?
Well, you got the name of the street wrong.
What?
I just remembered there's a Dover Street, and it's not far from here.
The chief didn't say Dover. He said Clover, 407 Clover.
Well,
Just
Clover
plain.
sounds like Dover. You could easily mistake them. Or the chief could. You know how he is when he's excited. Here comes an empty cab. Taxi!
But I tell you, Lois...
Taxi!
No, wait a minute. Maybe you're right. If I did mistake the name, that would account for information telling Jimmy there was no telephone for a Mrs. Walsh on Clover Street.
Of course it would. Come on, let's get in a taxi.
Okay. But where was I this morning?
Now, how do I know? But you weren't here.
Where to? 407 Dover Street, driver.
And hurry, please.
Dover. Here you are, driver. Keep the change. Thanks, Mac. Come on, Lois.
Wait a minute, Clark. 407 is a vacant store.
There's an apartment above it, but it's certainly not the place I visited this morning. Oh, well. Come on, let's check anyway. Here we are. Here's the entrance. Well, what are you waiting for?
Oh, I guess I'm a little nervous.
You don't have to be. You're with me.
That's a great help.
What?
Okay.
Look, the name on the bell is Anthar. George Anthar.
Well, ring it.
That's what I'm doing. Oh, there's the buzzer. Come on, let's go.
Gosh, those stairs aren't very well lighted.
No, I'll hold your arm. All right, come on, up we go.
We shouldn't have come here alone, Clark.
Relax, will you?
It's easy to say relax, but I don't like this one bit.
Don't worry.
Oh, why did I ever let myself be talked into this? What was that? Oh.
The door open on the first landing.
I don't see anybody.
Yes, look. There's a man standing at the door.
Come in, my friend.
Let me do the talking, Lois. My name is Clark Kent. Are you expecting me?
Your friends are expecting you, Mr. Kent.
My friend? Oh, yes, I see. This is Miss Lane.
Do step in, Miss Lane.
Why, thank you.
If you will come with me, I will summon your friend.
We should have brought the police, Clark.
Relax.
Now,
just step in through these curtains, please.
We should.
Sure. Go ahead. Nobody's in there.
There isn't much light in here.
Our departed friends do not like the light.
Departed?
Hey, wait a minute. Is that a crystal ball on the table?
Yes.
You're a fortune teller.
I beg your pardon. I object to that vulgar term in reference to my ancient and honored profession. I am a spiritualist, if you please. A medium through whom you may converse with the spirits of your dear departed.
Oh, Clark, a spiritualist.
I thought you said my friends were expecting me.
They are, young man. Those friends who have passed beyond their earthly confines. May I ask why else you came to me?
A slight mistake on the young lady's part. She was sure Clover Street meant Dover Street, you see.
I don't understand.
Well, frankly, neither do I. I'm sorry to have taken your time, Mr. Anthar.
Yes, goodbye, Mr. Anthar.
The door is directly ahead.
Yes, I see it. Watch the steps going down, Lois.
Oh, all right.
Well, what's so funny?
Just the reaction, I guess. A spiritualist of all things. Say, maybe he could have told us what happened to the chief at that.
Oh, don't joke about this, Lois.
You're right, I shouldn't. Something terrible may have happened, Mr. White. Clark, wait a minute.
What is it?
Well, you know, I just remembered.
What?
There's a Stover Street in Metropolis.
Oh, so what?
Well, don't you see? The chief might have said Stover, and you thought he said Clover.
A few minutes ago, you were sure he said Dover.
Well, maybe it was Stover. Now, let's try 407 Stover.
Oh, wait a minute, Lois. We can't keep running around in circles.
Well, now, that's a perfectly natural...
I'm starting to think this is all a bad dream.
Believe me, it isn't a dream.
But how could I have gone to a rooming house which apparently doesn't exist?
I don't know, unless you...
Unless I what?
Nothing.
Oh, I know. You think I imagined all this.
No, I didn't say that.
But you think it. Well, I didn't. Here, wait a minute. Come on in this drugstore.
What are you going to do now?
I want to make a phone call. Let's see if I have a nickel.
I think I have a nickel. No, I haven't.
Yeah,
Oh. Are you going to call Inspector Henderson again?
No, I'm going to call Jim at the office.
But what for?
Well, it's just possible that when I didn't arrive where I was supposed to with the money, the chief or his impersonator called the planet again.
Oh.
Let's see if it... Oh, hello. Jim Olson, please. This is Clark Kent. And that's our only hope, Lois. If there was any... Oh, hello. Miss Backrack? Clark Kent. Is Jim Olson there? He what? What? Wait a minute. Say that again.
What? What
Just
is
a minute,
it?
Lois, please. Yes, go on, Miss Backrack. When was this? Where? I see. Yes, I'll come right over. Goodbye.
Clark, what is it? Clark, answer me. Clark.
Strangely silent, Clark Kent stares into space as Lois tugs at his sleeve. What has happened now?
We'll return in a moment for the startling climax of today's episode. But first, here again is your announcer.
You know, gang, you're missing out on something the other kids are having a lot of fun with, unless you're collecting that brand new second series of comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep. Sure, you're going to be out in the cold when the fellows and girls compare notes and tell how many different buttons they've collected so far and swap their duplicates. So better hop to it. There are 18 different buttons in this new second series, you know, each one with a speaking likeness of one of your favorite funny sheet characters, done up in full comic strip colors, too, bright and eye-catching as can be. Looks swell pinned on your jacket or dress or cap. And you know, the best part is you don't have to send in a single penny for these snappy new comic buttons, not even a box top. Fact is, you can't buy them anywhere. But you can ask Mom to get you a package of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Inside each package, there's a thrilling prize for you. Remember, that's P-E-P, Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, made by Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Clark Kent has just phoned the Daily Planet from a drugstore. And now, outside the booth, he faces Lois Lane.
Clark, what is it? What's happened?
Jim.
What about Jim?
He received a phone call about half an hour ago.
Yes?
He thought it was from me.
From you?
Yes, Miss Backrack answered the call first. She thought it was me, too. The man, whoever he was, said he was me, and he spoke exactly like me.
Good heavens.
He told Jim to get the $10,000 from Darwin, the cashier, and bring it to a certain address.
But what address?
I don't know. Miss Backrack didn't know. Jim didn't say. He just got the money and rushed out. And now Jim's gone, too.
Jimmy Olsen gone, too. Apparently the victim of the same clever gang that trapped Perry White. And Superman helpless to aid them as he seeks desperately for a way through the tangled, baffling maze of mystery. What will happen next? Tomorrow's episode is tense and exciting, fellows and girls, so don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Fellas and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Say, how about being a pal to your dog like he is to you? Do him a good turn. Treat him to Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food. It's so full of meaty flavor, and there are 3 different kinds to pick from. There's Grow Pup Ribbon, Grow Pup Meal, and Grow Pup Pellets. You can give your dog the kind he likes best because they all have what it takes to help keep him right on the beam. For lots of muscle, for strong bones and teeth, ask Mother to base your dog's diet on Kellogg's Grow Pup every day. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
You were somewhere else. Escape.
Of a man who is to die at the hands, as Hugh Cave tells it in Violent Horror.
That what, huh? Well, why I keep the man up there behind the bar? Strangers, I mean, of course, know about it. Here, take a look. 21 jewels. Water seal case. Belonged to water seal case. Belonged to Tom Dawson, the painter. He was a little washed-out guy, always looked kind of lost. Nobody knew much about him, except he painted good pictures. I didn't know much about Elizabeth either, that girl he brought up from Sydney. It was pretty easy to guess about her. She gave him the watch. Yeah. Still runs if you want it. See? Got quite a tick if you hold it close up to your ear. Sounds a little like jungle drums way off in the distance. I suppose that's how it sounded to Tom Dawson there at the last, when that watch meant life or death and they were waiting for him out there in the darkness. Oh, that's quite a story. Only it's kind of hard to know what it starts, see? With Elizabeth, perhaps. Anyhow, Tom would take it himself in his own words. I think he'd start with Elizabeth.
They didn't understand Elizabeth. How it was between us, what she meant to me. None of them did. They gossiped a lot the way they always do in tropic ports. But they didn't really know anything about Elizabeth. They didn't know how sweet and how convincing she could be. How she could wrap a man around her finger. Like the time she gave me the watch.
Go on, Tom, open it. I want to see if you like it.
Like what, Elizabeth?
Open it and see.
You come home with a package and... It's a watch.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one, too. It's made for the tropics. All sealed and everything. It'll run forever.
Yeah, honey, but where'd you find a watch like this in Port Moresby?
Well, I didn't exactly. I got it from Captain Ducar.
Ducar?
He has a trading schooner. I used to know him in Sydney.
Yes, I think I've heard him mentioned recently, or on the bar at the hotel.
Probably. He's been in port for a couple of weeks. Do you really like it, Tom? The watch, I mean.
Sure, baby. Who wouldn't?
Now you can always tell just how long you've been away from me.
In that case, I won't need it all. It sounds like a heartbeat when you hold it close. I guess that's what it is in a way. A heartbeat of time. Measuring out your life. My life. Second by second.
Oh, Tom, that's a morbid idea. You love me.
Crazy about it. You don't have to bring me presents to keep it anyway.
I wanted to, Tom.
Yeah, I know, but this thing's too expensive, Elizabeth. I can't keep it.
But you must. I gave it to you.
It's worth a couple of $100. Have you thought of how you're going to pay for it?
Well, I had some savings I didn't tell you about.
I thought you were flat broke when I ran into you in Sydney.
Well, I wasn't, though. Look, Tom, why don't you forget it? Let me worry about it. And anyway, I've already paid for the watch.
Why prolong the story? Everybody else knew and I didn't, that's all. Pure self-delusion. Because I had plenty of opportunity to know. Insinuations around the hotel bar, talk along the harbor front, remarks about Pierre Ducar. But like I say, I was crazy about Elizabeth. And I ignored it all, went on painting and didn't know. Maybe I didn't want to know. I've been out on a 2-day painting trip in one of the native fishing boats and got back to port a day earlier than I'd expected. It was about midnight when I climbed onto the wharf with my canvases and headed around the harbor front. I walked about 50 yards when I heard it. It came from a schooner moored at the wharf just ahead of me. I walked closer. There was no mistaking that
Yeah, you're such a fool
Elizabeth.
sometimes. You're like all the others. Full of words you don't mean.
And the schooner was Pierre Ducar.
Yeah, but they are pretty words, my Sally, and you like to hear them, no?
Of course, I like to hear them. And maybe that only shows I'm a fool, too.
No, I think it is not you and I that are fools, but that husband of yours.
Tom? Oh, he's all right. But he's so boring at times.
How did you like the watch I sent him?
Fine. Only he wondered how I was going to pay for it.
Some men would have killed one or both of them. Other men would have killed themselves. I did neither. Standing there in the darkness, I realized suddenly that my whole life up to that moment had been completely useless. Nothing. And even Elizabeth, my Elizabeth, had been an illusion of my own, like a painting. And the real woman, too, was useless, hollow, nothing. I threw my paintings into the waters of the harbor, turned away into the night, and ran. Nearly 3 weeks later, my crazy flight from the past had carried me deep into the black heart of New Guinea. Beyond the dank rainforests of the coast, up through the foothills and the mid-sloped jungles of bamboo and liana. Until I stood one morning in a narrow pass that led through steep-walled rocks to a hidden valley. And I knew that civilization lay far behind. That the Papuan natives who moved towards me were headhunters. Cannibals. The chief of the tribe, a giant of a man towering a foot or more above me, raised his arms.
I'm going to be up. Jay, why you come here, what devil?
I'm Tom Dorsey.
Why you come here?
I come to live with you, if I may.
Hey. Where you come from?
A place called Fort Moresby, many days from here.
You a headman that place?
No, and I don't have any wish to be headman here.
You could not be headman you want. I, Ramabu, headman here. With hands alone, Ramabu can kill any man in tribe.
I don't doubt it.
Can kill you, too.
I don't doubt that either.
I show you.
Ramabu.
I hold you over my head. Like this. Feel good? How you like? I think you'll not be head man here. I think you're not good for much anything.
No, I guess I'm not. I guess that's why I ran away. Why I came here.
You still want to live here?
Yes.
All right, you stay. But you cause trouble, I kill you. Understand?
Yes, I understand.
Good, that's good. Hold you.
The weeks went by and gave me little time for thinking, or remembering. I built a house at the far end of the valley, planted a garden, roamed the woods to search for berries and nuts, and lived the life the natives live, timing each day by the watch which I still wore on my wrist. I was fairly content. The past seemed far away. Then Jerry came into my life. I'd gone exploring in the north end of the valley, and when I came back at dusk, she was waiting in the door of my house. Young, brown-skinned, beautiful.
Hello.
Hello?
My name is Jerry. I've been watching you.
Why?
Just because. You did not notice me, though.
Why should I notice?
Well, are you not like other men?
What are you doing here?
I come to live with you.
I don't want anybody living with me.
It is not good to be alone. Who will sweep your floors and cook for you?
I do those things myself.
But it is better to have a woman.
Not for me.
You will not let me stay?
No.
All right. I'll come again tomorrow. Maybe you change your mind.
Not a chance.
We see. Good night.
That was the beginning, and in a way, the beginning of the end. Jerry came back the next day, and the next, and the next. I argued, pled, cursed, but nothing I could do would change that round-eyed persistence of hers in the least. And then I made the first big mistake that started the whole mess. It involved the watch.
We are late tonight. A little while longer, or since I cooked for you with this stove.
What of it? I didn't ask you to come here. I can cook for myself.
Look what I have cooked. Asparagus, yams, chestnuts.
Jerry, I've told you over and over again, you've got to stop coming here.
Why?
Because I said so.
Perhaps it's because you think I am ugly.
You know better than that. You're lovely. That's the trouble.
I do not understand you.
I mean, you have no business hanging around here. Look, Jerry, I already have a woman, a wife, back in Port Moresby.
You love her?
Yes.
She is coming here again?
No, she won't be coming.
Then it does not matter. What good is she?
That's not the point. Look, she gave me this. See, it says from Elizabeth. That's her name. To Tom. That's me.
What is this thing?
The watch.
What does it do?
Well, it counts the hours, tells what time the sun will come up, and tells when it'll go down.
How does it do these things? Is it magic?
Well, yes, in a way you could call it magic.
And that is why you will not let me stay? Because the woman has given you this thing?
That's right.
But she is not coming here?
No, she isn't.
Tom, you know what I think?
No.
I think you big fool.
Jerry talked, of course, told the villagers about the magic watch. By twos and threes, they came to look at it, stare at it solemnly, exchange a word or so of gossip, and depart. I welcomed it at first, realized how lonely I'd been, except for Jerry's daily visits. Now I'd suddenly become a popular celebrity. But there was one thing I hadn't counted on, and that one thing was Ramabu.
Much talk in village of magic thing you keep here. Ramabu come see this thing.
I'm glad you did. Welcome to my house.
House. Fine house. You build with magic?
No, I just happen to know a few things about construction.
Better house than Ramabu.
Thanks.
Not good for one have better house than headman.
Here, do you want to see the watch?
Yeah. So this magic thing Ramabu hear about?
Oh, it isn't really magic. It's just a watch. You and I know that.
Ginny say magic. Tell sun and moon.
Well, you know how women talk.
Magic thing. Fine house. You know what I say when you come here?
Yes?
What I say?
You said if I caused any trouble, you'd kill me.
He's right. With these hands, I kill you.
But I didn't think I'd caused any trouble.
Just one way, go out of valley. And guards watch all time.
I'm not planning to escape, if that's what you mean.
You remember now. Ramabu headman here. And Ramabu can kill you.
I watched him stride off, sneering a little, swaggering. I knew, of course, that he had the mind and attitudes of a 10-year-old child and that he was dangerous. But I didn't realize how deadly. Not then. So I went right ahead and made my one big final mistake.
We will return to Escape and tonight's story, The Silent Horror, in just a moment. Lots of folks will be driving on our highways during the Labor Day weekend. It's a weekend for pleasure, so let's keep it pleasant for everyone. Obey the traffic laws, don't speed, stay on the right side of the road, and don't drink when you drive. Be careful. The life you save may be your own. And now, back to Escape.
What you're right. It's the same watch you figured in all of Tom Dawson's troubles, right up to the end. Or especially at the end, you might say. Of course, I didn't get it from Tom himself. No, a backcountry trader named Will Jonas brought it in one night. It's been hanging there behind the bar ever since. And once in a while, I wind it up when some stranger asks me what it's there for, like you did. 6 away as good as new. Will's the fellow I got the stickers from, too, but sometimes, listening to that watch ticking away, I can almost imagine that Tom's telling the story himself, in his own words.
The week after Ramabu came to see the watch, I started on a new project. Weeks before, I'd found a spring in a waterfall halfway up the cliffs behind my house. And I thought of a way to use hollow bamboo tubes to pipe the water to my kitchen. I spent nearly a month cutting the bamboo, carrying it up to the cliff, and fitting the lengths together. And then one day everything was ready, and I turned the water into my new aqueduct. The villagers heard, of course, and came to marvel, taste the water, and look at me askance. Jerry was around during all those weeks. There seemed to be nothing I could do to get rid of it. Or perhaps I was growing less inclined to get rid of it. I suppose I should have expected trouble, but I didn't. When trouble finally did come, it came right to my door.
You! Come out!
What is this? What's it all about?
Come on, you
Ramabu, what's this all about?
I come find out if man who live in better house than Ramabu, man who make river come to house, can also fight.
Fight?
You want spear, club, or hand?
I don't want any of them. What reason have I got to fight with you?
Maybe you won't be head man.
Of course not. I told you that before.
People say you big man. Say we fight, see who is head man.
I see. I don't have a choice, is that it?
You want spear, better hand.
What's the difference? I'm no good at any of them. It was pleasant here. I thought maybe... Well, Ramabu, let's get on with it.
I kill you, bare hand.
Ah!
This Jake, relax.
If you kill him, Ramabo, the magic thing that makes the sun come up will stop. He told me so.
It's a lie. Not true.
There will never be a sun again. Only night and darkness. Jerry! Quanto ti devo? Tocca per gioco che? Fango? It is no use, Ramabo. They will not let you kill him. Put him down. Put him down.
You told them lie. Yes. You'll live for a while. But I think this magic thing like bamboo sway in wind. I think one day it stops. Maybe when it stops, I think sun still come up. If that happen, I kill you. Magoneba!
Jerry, I guess I owe you my life, such as it is. Whatever you want of me, it's yours.
Do you love the woman in Port Moresby?
No.
And do you love me?
Jerry, if I dared love any woman, it would be you.
I'm a bigger fool than you. I wish I let him kill you.
Ramabo came the next morning to look at the watch. He saw that it was running and left without a word. He came the next day and the next and the next. First it was amusing, but gradually the terror began to creep in. As long as it ran, I'd live, and whenever it stopped for whatever reason, I'd die. I took to whining it a half a dozen times a day and hold it to my ear and listen to it. The drums in the village seemed to be constant. And the drums, the watch, and my own heartbeat became mixed into one crazy quilt of sound. Crazier still when I came down with malaria. When Ramabo came and saw the fever in my face, he smiled and laughed, and I cursed him as I wound the watch for the third time since dawn. 2 nights later, Jerry slipped into my room.
George, I have heard you are sick.
It's a fever. Where have you been all week?
They would not let me come. Tonight, I ran away for a while.
What do you mean?
I mean, if my father accepts the marriage gift, I am to be the wife of Ramabo. He is head man. I have no choice. Do you care?
What if I did?
I ask you, do you?
If you were married to me, you could only look forward to being a widow.
There is a way. If you
Wait.
care enough.
Here, stop.
Oh, what is wrong?
Here, let me have it. I gotta get it started. I must have forgotten to wind it.
What are you doing? What are you saying?
It won't run. It won't run. Ramabo will find out.
But it is running. Hold it to your ear.
Huh?
It was the drum.
Oh, I thought it was a watch. Tom, I thought it was a watch.
There is a way out of the valley. I know about.
So do I, Jerry. There are 20 guards watching.
No, I mean another one. It is behind the waterfall where you meet the magic thing of bamboo.
What?
A little path goes up the cliff. Very steep. Could I have climbed it? We can go together if you care.
But I'm sick. Maybe in a day or
If the
two.
magic thing stops a day or two, maybe too late.
If I'd known about it a week ago, before I caught the
In a few
fever.
days, I may be married to Ramabo.
All right, marry him.
Don't say that.
I'm sick, Jerry. I can't do it. Go ahead and marry him if you want. Leave me alone. I tossed away the hours of night and day, lying on my cot bathed in sweat. And time itself seemed to gel into one great mass of fever with no form or dimensions. And the fever sang in my ears when I strained to hear the watch. Sometime I mistook the drums of my own heart. I fought to stay awake, to keep my senses to live, fought against odds that grew greater by the hour. Sometimes in my delirium, I thought that Jerry had slipped into the room like a ghost, had wound the watch and talked to me and left. But I could never remember anything that she'd said. And then finally one night, just before dawn, suddenly, terror was in the room. The name of the terror was silence. Jerry? Jerry, are you here? There's no sound. It's like it stopped. The watch is broken and it stopped. Sometimes in a fever there comes a moment of clarity and strength, and I knew suddenly what I must do. Without trying to find the watch, I leaped from my cot and headed for the waterfall. By daylight, I was halfway up the rock wall, drenched by the falling spray and dog-tired. But the slope from here on was gentler, and I kept moving on up the cliff. Now and then I stopped to look back, and that's when I saw Jerry! But I saw something else, too. Jerry was 100 feet below me, and beyond her, at the base of the cliff, was Ramabu and half the tribe. There was nothing I could do now but pray.
I love you. Come. Wait for me.
I saw Ramabu raise his bow, draw back the arrow, and let it go. I saw her fall and lie there on the rocks. I saw Ramabu pick her up, carry her back toward the village. I knew the greatest thing I'd ever owned was gone. That my life was once again, and this time truly, useless. I turned and plunged into the jungle.
Well, I suppose it was a couple of 3 months later when Tom Dawson showed up in Port Moresby again. Elizabeth had sold all his paintings and left on Ducard's schooner long before, so Tom moved into his old house and he stayed pretty clear of everybody, except for an idea in the bar now and then. He didn't tell any of us what he'd done or where he'd been, and I suppose we never would have known if it hadn't been for a coincidence that happened one night. Yes, I was penned in bar just as I am now, and suddenly some fellow walks up and slaps the garter.
Hold your feet, Joe. Will Jonas is back in town.
Well,
I'm 6 months dry and ready to go.
Where the devil you been, huh?
Oh, so far back country's never even heard of Bede. How can you cheat 'em? Oh, say, I stumbled onto something, though. You remember that painter, Tom Dawson?
Yes.
You remember that watch what's her name give him? Well, there it is.
Well, where'd you get that?
In the forsakenest piece of country I've ever found in 20 years of trading. Believe me, Joe.
Where'd you get that watch?
Hey, Joe! Joe, you know Will Jonas.
Where'd you get that watch?
Well, I guess from the person you left it with.
I didn't leave it with anybody.
That's not what she said.
What do you mean? Tell me. Who? Was it Jerry?
Yeah, that's her name.
She's alive?
And twice as natural. He's living in that house you built. Alone, if you're interested.
What about him?
Oh, the head man.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it seems he lost face when he let you get away. They figured you for their good luck or something. Anyway, they booted him out a long time ago.
Jerry, she's all right. She's living in my house.
Yeah, alone. She made that plenty clear.
Thanks.
In case you...
Thanks for everything.
Yeah, I'm glad. Hey, where you going? Well, what about this watch? It's yours. Oh, well, I'll be Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
I'll trade you this watch for a bottle. How about it?
Well, that was 5 or 6 years ago. Nobody around here has ever seen Tom Dawson since. Because all of us have got a pretty good idea where he went, though. Yeah. And I'll lay odds on one thing, stranger. I'll bet you he's happy.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you The Silent Horror by Hugh Cave, specially adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, starring Harry Bartell with George Ellis. Featured in the cast were Jack Crucian, Ben Wright, Ann Diamond, Stan Waxman, and Lou Krugman. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. The light heavyweight boxing title goes up on the chopping block later tonight when champ Joey Maxim squares off against challenger Bob Murphy. With this exciting championship go, your Wednesday night fight exclusives on CBS Radio begin another action-packed season. Don't miss it, blow by blow, over most of these same stations later tonight. Next week, Hearthstone of the Death Squad returns to the air. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for the first of this new series. Clarence Cassell speaking. This is the CBS Radio Network.
You, finding life rather dull, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else? We offer you Escape.
Escape with us now to New Orleans during Mardi Gras, behind the gaiety of which lies a nightmare world of terror and death, as John and Gwen Dagny tell it in The Man Who Stole the Bible.
I didn't mean to steal the Bible. That wasn't my intention. Why, I've never taken as much as a towel or an ashtray out of a hotel. And if I'd known the night of terror would lead me into, I'd never have taken it at all. Mardi Gras in New Orleans. A gay time. A lot of laughs if you're in on it. But me, I was stuck in a stuffy hotel room waiting for a call from the boss. And the sound of all those people out in the street having fun got on my nerves. Operator! Come on, operator.
Your order, please.
This is Mr. Cummings, room 302. Whatever happened to that bellhop I sent for?
Would you speak louder? I can't hear you, sir.
I said this is...
Just a minute.
Operator!
What was it you wanted?
A bellhop. I want him to bring me something to read, anything. You said half an hour ago he was on his way up.
Has he answered your call yet, Mr. Cummings?
No, he has not.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. The hotel's so crowded. It's a Mardi Gras, you know. It's almost impossible. Just a minute.
Operator. Oh, no. I paced back and forth, wishing the boss would call me so I could get out of the room. I didn't dare leave even to go down and get a paper. He's that kind of a guy, expects you to be on tap all the time. There was no radio in the room and nothing to read. I went through all the drawers, hoping somebody had left behind a magazine or a feed catalog, anything. And then I found it. The Bible. The Gideon Bible. For years I'd seen them in hotel rooms, but I'd never paid any attention to them. Now I opened the book. 1 Samuel chapter 19. I lay down on the bed and started to read. The knock surprised me. I'd forgotten about the bellhop. I got up to go to the door, and I realized I had the Bible in my hand. It's a fine thing when a man feels embarrassed caught reading the Bible, but that's how I felt, embarrassed. I stuffed it under the pillow and went to the door. Well, you sure took your time. Oh, hey, I thought it was the bellhop. Who are you?
House detective. Sorry to disturb you.
Oh, that's all right. What's the matter?
Seems that the woman who had this room before you lost her pocketbook. She thinks she left it here.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's no pocketbook here.
Well, I better take a look.
Oh, I'd have seen it if it was here, but come on in if you want.
Thanks.
See, there's no pocketbook in here.
Yeah, but she's sure she left it here. I'll have to go through everything.
Now, look, there's nothing in there but my stuff. You have to...
Oh, well, what's the matter? Don't you want me to look for it?
No, it isn't that. I just don't like people going through my things, that's all.
Look, she had some money in it. Now, you wouldn't want me to say you refused to let me look around for it, would you?
Oh, no, of course not. Go ahead. Now, I've been through all those drawers already.
Well, I just take another look. Doesn't seem likely that the maid should have overlooked it, but once in a while something gets left in a drawer.
Yeah, I know. But there's nothing in there.
No, I guess you're right. That's amazing, the things people leave behind in hotels.
Yeah, guess it is.
Yeah. Nobody else been in here, has he?
No, nobody. Can't even get a bellhop in here.
You been out of the room?
No. And look, I'm not responsible for anything that was left here.
No, of course not. Well, I'm sorry to have bothered you.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, say, tell that bellhop to get up here, will you?
Yeah, I'll tell him. Good night.
He was a strange guy, but I suppose all house dicks are. I don't know. I've never had anything to do with one before this. I lay down again and went back to reading the Bible. Once I got used to the old-fashioned language, I found it pretty interesting. The story of David, anyway. A guy being chased by everybody, not knowing who his enemies were, every minute expecting to get killed. I was down to the part where David's wife put the dummy in his bed as a decoy to save his life when I was interrupted again. This time, I automatically stuck the Bible under the pillow and went to the door.
Hello.
Well, hello.
I'm having the most awful time. I've tried and tried, but it just won't work. And the room's so stuffy.
How's that?
The window in my room, it won't open. Would you open it for me?
Oh, sure. Just show me. Which room is it?
Right next to yours. Just around this corner. Room 300. I have the same trouble on buses. The windows never open. It drives me mad. You can see how stuffy the room is.
This window?
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't that odd? It opened for you.
Yeah, it did. Easy, too. Now, so does this one.
I can't understand it.
You're sure you tried?
You don't think I'd come to your door and ask you to come over here if I didn't need something, do you?
It's been done.
I won't argue with that. But now that you're here, would you like to have a drink? For your trouble,
No, I don't think
you
so.
can watch the parade much better here than on your side of the building.
No, I can't. Listen.
What's the matter?
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta go. That's my phone.
Wait, don't go. You can have the call transferred here. But it's silly to go all the way back.
Hello, Cummings. Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I've been waiting for your call. Now, look, I covered the whole territory down here. Things look pretty healthy. You see, the main difficulty has been... I stared at my briefcase. I'd left it on the dresser. Now it was on the bed. And everything had been pulled out of it. The closet door was ajar. The drawers in the bureau were open. My Gladstone apparently hadn't been touched, but everything else had. I heard the boss talking trends and business conditions, but my mind was on a girl who wanted a window open. A window that wasn't stuck while somebody searched my room.
Well, that's about the whole ball of wax.
Finally, he finished talking, and I hung up. There was no reason now for me to stay in the room. I gathered up my stuff, and I took the Bible from under the pillow. Funny, I'd gotten interested in it. I wanted to go on reading it. So I stuck it in my top coat and walked out of the room. On my way to the elevator, I got a sudden impulse. I stopped in front of room 300 and knocked. Oh, excuse me, where?
Nobody here now, mister. The lady checked out.
Well, that's impossible. I was just
I don't
here.
know anything about that, but she checked out a couple of minutes ago. I gotta clean it up after her right now. I'm gonna be glad when Mardi Gras is over. Everybody goes crazy. Hotel goes crazy. People check in, check out, and steal everything that ain't tied down.
Steal?
I said steal. Ashtrays, bath towels, soap. Wouldn't be surprised if they take the beds next.
The Bible in my pocket suddenly felt like a pound of uranium. I wondered if the cleaning woman could read the guilt on my face. But she put her wastebasket down in the hall and went back in to clean the room. For a second, I considered taking the Bible back to room 302. And maybe I would have if it hadn't been for the discarded book jacket in the wastebasket. It was gaudy, red and yellow. I grabbed it up, put it around the Bible. The title read, "You Will Die Tonight."
Front boy, show this gentleman to 506.
Oh.
Checking out, Mr. Cummings?
Right.
Let me see. You were in room...
302.
302? Oh.
What's the matter?
Oh, Mr. Cummings, I've had so much trouble over that room. I was supposed to hold it for a lady, but you can't keep rooms vacant during Mardi Gras. I gave her the room next to yours, but she kicked like crazy to the manager.
Next to me?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Room 300. She checked out just a few minutes ago.
Well, I don't know what this is all about, but there's something peculiar going on in room 302.
Peculiar?
Yeah, I didn't mind the house detectives coming in to look for the purse, but I didn't like having my stuff searched while I was out of the room.
Searched?
That's right, I said searched.
Mr. Cummings, you say the house detective did this?
Yeah, he said the woman who had the room before me left her purse.
Oh, but that's impossible, Mr. Cummings.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, a man had the room ahead of you. Yes, I'm positive of it. Just a moment, I have the register right here. Yes, Mr. Gregory. Now, the house detective isn't on duty today, but when he comes in tomorrow...
Not on duty? Well, then what was he doing in my room?
Today, Mr. Cummings?
Of course, today. Tonight. A tall guy with black hair.
Oh, there's some mistake, Mr. Cummings. Our house detective, Mr. Sinclair, is short, fat, and bald. And he hasn't been in the hotel all day. He's home sick.
It had the makings of an interesting little intrigue. But I left the mystery of room 302 with the room clerk and went to the cigar stand. It was 8 o'clock. My train wouldn't leave until midnight.
Hey, yes, sir. What'll it be? Cigarettes or cigars?
Cigars. 3 Coronas. No. Make it 6.
Always like to sell cigars. Men don't smoke cigars like they used to. Cigarettes, that's the fashion today. But give me a good cigar every time.
Well, somebody's having a good time.
Oh, they all have a good time during the carnival.
Say, I wonder where I could check my bag and briefcase for a little while.
You going to see the parade?
Well, I thought I would. Mill around a little bit. I've got a couple hours to kill.
Well, I'll be glad to keep it for you. I'm on duty till midnight.
Would you? Well, that's mighty nice of you.
Oh, don't mind at all. Mardi Gras is something to see. You shouldn't miss it. But you'll have more fun if you're in a costume. The hotel's got it for rent.
Oh, no, thanks. I'll go as I am. He stuffed myself under his counter, and I elbowed my way across the crowded lobby to the street door. Through the glass, my eyes met the eyes of another man. A tall man with black hair. The man who had said he was the house detective. I swung the hotel door open. Had a few questions I wanted to ask that boy. Thought he was swallowed up in the crowd. And then a big hand clapped me on the shoulder, and a voice boomed in my ear.
There you are, sinner!
I whirled around and looked into the mask of a laughing, red-faced devil.
Don't try to evade me, sinner. I've come to collect you with my nice, shiny pitchfork. But when the devil comes for you, your time is not here.
All I could see in the mask was a pair of eyes. They were green eyes, and they were laughing. And the devil threw his arm around my shoulder and urged me along the street. I balked a little. I hadn't had anything to drink, and the whole thing seemed kind of silly, but before I knew what happened, the clown grabbed my other arm.
Let's take the sinner to the fiery burden.
And the two of them, the devil and the clown, were propelling me down the street toward a parked car.
Come on, sinner. Fiery burden.
Hey, now, wait a minute. Wait.
Oh, the sinner's reluctant.
him! Push him in, Clyde! Look, fellas. Hey, you guys. Hey, let me out. Look, where are you going?
All right, let's have it.
What?
The Bible you took out of room 302.
Bible? Hey, you're not drunk.
Don't waste time on it. Listen.
Look, I don't know who you are, but...
Hadn't got it on. What'd you do with it? Where is it?
Well, I told you I haven't got it.
That's just to let you know we're not playing. Come on, let's take it again. Where's the Bible?
Look, I tell you, I haven't got it. I had it, but I guess I lost it.
Lost it? Where'd you lose it?
I don't know. Why, you...
Don't do that, sinner. It's easy for me to pull this trigger to look at you.
Well, look, I'm telling you the truth. I haven't got it anymore.
All right, you haven't got it. But you'll tell me where it is, you understand, if I have to kill you to find out. Hey, what are you stopping here for?
Well, a crowd. I can't get through.
Come on, let's get moving. Get out of here.
Well, what do you want me to do? Drive over? Look, fellas, you're shot. Go on!
A bunch of revelers, drunk and out to bear, opened the back door of the car and started climbing over us. Nothing would stop them from weaving through. They thought it was fun, pushing and shoving each other. One of them fell, sprawled across the devil's rack, and they began to pile up. And suddenly I knew this was escape. I climbed out of the car. I ran blindly away from them. I saw a cab at an intersection. I ran out, opened the door, and there he was, in the back seat, the phony house detective. I slammed the cab door and bolted across the street. There was a policeman on the corner directing traffic. I ran up to him.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
He's trying to kill me. You gotta help me.
Kill you? Who's trying to kill
The
you?
devil, he's after me.
The devil, you say?
Yeah, and the clown, too.
Not Mickey
I
Mouse?
mean it, I'm serious.
You're drunker than you look,
I haven't
son.
had a drink, I tell you. They're trying to kill me.
And why would they be doing that?
Because they want the Bible.
The Bible?
Yeah. But you see, I stole the Bible and here they come down. Who? The devil and the clown across the street. You're trying to get me out of it. You gotta stop them. They'll kill me.
Oh, now, sure. Now, take it easy. Take it easy.
There you are, sinner. Come on. What are you trying to do? Get us in trouble?
Trouble?
Sure. You've got to miss the party.
It's all a trick. Don't listen to them.
Hey, this young fella claims you're trying to kill him.
Me? Oh, no, not me. But if he doesn't get to that party pretty soon, his wife will kill him.
Party, they're lying. There isn't any party. They're lying, I tell you.
Now, you be all be good boys. Now, move on. Go someplace else instead of your squabble. I gotta keep this traffic moving.
Officer, please.
What the policeman said. Come on,
Officer.
Now, beat it. Now, go on with it.
I demand to be arrested. I demand it.
Go on, I said. Now, go on.
Officer, you're a no-good white trash fool.
I'm a what? If it wasn't Mardi Gras, I'd run you in.
And you want to arrest me? Okay. But remember, I didn't want to do it.
But that's a dirty Yankee trick striking an officer. All right, young fellow, that does it. You're under arrest.
We'll return to Escape and today's story, The Man Who Stole the Bible, in just a moment. For Friday night entertainment, packed with something or other, we heartily recommend Rayburn and Finch, those two unpredictable record rascals who make merry Friday nights on most of these same CBS radio stations. Right now, the melody-minded monkey shiners are up to their elbows in a contest. They're determined to give away discs by the thousands, also a few automobiles and some trips to New York. Enjoy the music and get in on the contest details tomorrow night. You'll have fun trying, more fun winning. It's Rayburn and Finch on CBS Radio Friday nights. And now we return you to The Man Who Stole the Bible, tonight's story of Escape.
I sat in the drunk tank in the New Orleans jail and tried to figure it out. Who were the devil and the clown and the phony house detective? Why was the Bible so important that they'd even kill me to get it? My bags were back at the cigar counter in the hotel. My train was scheduled to leave at midnight. How was I going to get out of New Orleans? Already it was 10 o'clock, and as long as I stayed in jail, I'd be safe. But that didn't last long. I hadn't been there a half hour when a cop came for me and took me to the desk sergeant.
New Orleans police. 98.
Yeah. Here's your personal belongings, Cummins. You're released. You can go now. Try to behave yourself. We're pretty busy tonight.
Released?
Yeah. You know you're a lucky guy? Culpepper decided not to press charges against you. You know what you could get for stacking an officer?
But aren't you going to hold me?
Your fine's been paid. Now go on. Get on out of here. And keep out of trouble, will you?
But I am in trouble. That's what I tried to tell the cop, but he wouldn't listen to me. I had to hit him. My fine? Somebody paid my fine?
All cars. Yeah, it's been paid.
But who? Who paid it?
I don't know who it was. He didn't give me no name. He just paid it.
Was it a man in a devil's costume?
Huh?
Or a clown?
Oh, now look.
What did he look like?
How do I know what he looked like? He was an ordinary-looking guy. Tall, big, and he had black hair.
The house detective.
The who?
They'll kill me. I tell you, they'll kill me. I hadn't heard her come into the station. She moved so quietly. She was a nun, and she was talking excitedly in French. I wasn't paying much attention to her. I was thinking instead of my own problem. The house detective had paid my fine. He wanted me out of jail. He wanted me loose on the street. Why? And the devil and the clown, are they with him? Were all of them waiting outside that door for me?
Please, sister. Look, I wish I could help you. But I can't understand the word you're saying.
Monsieur, les gens dans la route m'empêchent de trouver mon chemin. Ils me prennent pour un des participants.
Oh, English, Kate. You speak a little English, sister?
Oh, pardon, monsieur. Masquerade. Costume. The people think masquerade. No masquerade.
Look, I think she's trying to say that people on the streets think she's wearing a masquerade costume.
Merci bien, monsieur. I am loose.
You mean lost?
Oui, monsieur, lost. I am expect at convent au Vieux Carré.
Oh, the Vieux Carré. That's the French Quarter, eh?
Exactement, oui. I try for taxicab. The crowd, how you say, push me around. Pouvez-vous envoyer un de vos gendarmes?
What?
Gendarme. Oh, well, she wants you to send a policeman to help her get to the convent.
Oui, monsieur.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry, sister. I'd be glad to, but I ain't got anybody in right now. If you don't mind sticking around for a while, I'll be...
around?
The sergeant, the prefect, says he's sorry, and if you'll wait, there's no one available right now to help you. Wait a minute. The nun stood there, frightened and bewildered, out of place in the police station. But for me, it was a miraculous break. Sure, I could walk out of that police station with her. And if they were waiting outside, waiting to get me, I could walk right by them. They wouldn't dare touch me as long as I was with a nun. I could take her to the convent, and once there, I'd be safe.
Je suis désolée, que puis-je faire?
I'll take the sister to the convent, Sergeant.
Well, it's okay with me if it's okay with her.
Merci, monsieur. Merci mille fois.
As she walked out of the police station, I took her arm. To help her, yes, but also to steady my own fear. Any minute, I expected to see one or all of them. The devil, the clown, the house detective. But they weren't in sight. There were people milling about on the street, but not the three I feared. And strangely, not finding them there frightened me more than ever. I found a cab and gave the driver the address of the convent. The nun and I didn't try to talk. I realized this whole thing was difficult for her, and I didn't feel like talking. Too much had happened to me for one night. The cab pulled up in front of an ancient building in the French Quarter. Crumbling cement and wrought ironwork. We got out, and I walked with her to the big front door. The nun raised the knocker, and I knew I'd been had. You!
What is wrong?
Fingernails. Red, polished fingernails. You're not a nun.
Where have you been?
Hey, why is why?
Come on, you inside.
It was the devil and the clown. They yanked me into the house. And the girl. Stared at her. Back in the police station, I hadn't really looked at her face. Her black robe dispelled freedom from me. That's as far as I'd thought. But now I knew I'd seen her before. Only before, she'd worn a green dress and a scarlet mouth to match her fingernails. And her hair had been blonde and long. And she wanted a window open. A window that wasn't stuck.
You've given us a lot of trouble.
I'm sorry, but
You've
I
been
don't...
very patient.
Now we want the Bible.
I told you before, I don't have it.
You had it?
I had it, yes, I had it. I took it. I don't know why I took it, but I lost it.
Who sent you to get it? I'll handle him. All right, who you working for? Maloney?
Look, there's some mistake. I'm a salesman. I sell washing machines.
You're lying.
Look, I tell
Where's
you.
the stuff? Has Poloni got it?
What stuff? I don't know any Poloni. Oh, what are you slapping me around for? That won't get you any place.
Oh, won't it?
Let me talk to him. Look, if you're covering up for Poloni...
Poloni. I don't know any Poloni.
Poloni wouldn't take a beating for you.
I tell you.
Whatever he's paying you, we'll pay you more.
We'll pay him nothing. You hand over that Bible or tell us where the junk's stashed, or so help me, I'll kill him.
Dope. So that's what it is. Dope.
Yeah, Mr. Innocent. That's what it is. Dope. Heroin and cocaine, $100,000 worth.
Stop it. Tell him we'll never find us. Listen to me. What's your name?
Cummings.
You work for Poloni, Cummings. Nobody but Poloni knows about that Bible. You came to hijack the stuff.
Tell you, don't know Poloni.
Stop lying. Poloni knew our carrier was hot. That he had to drop the stuff somewhere in New Orleans.
You're wasting your time, baby. I'll make him talk. Are you going to talk?
I do.
You want the butt of this gun right across your face?
You got to believe me. He hit me with the gun. I tried to keep my eyes open. I hang on to conscience. Across the room, I saw the door open, and in it stood a man with another gun. A big man with black hair. The phony house detective. Was his name Poloni? I didn't know how long I was out. When I came to, I was lying on a bed. My head was throbbing. My cheeks, my nose, every bone in my face seemed on fire. There was a cold cloth on my eyes. I tried to think. Why did I hurt so? Oh, yeah. The Bible. They wanted the Bible. But I didn't have it. That was a good thing. If I had it, they'd kill me. And then I smelled something. A strong cigar. It burned the inside of my nose. I rolled over to get away from it and opened my eyes. The devil and the clown were gone. So was the girl. I was alone with the phony house detective.
All right. Let's not waste any more time. What did you do with the Bible?
Where are the others?
They've been taken care of. Look, you took the Bible that belongs in this room. Now, what did you do with it?
This room? Yeah, room 302. What am I doing back in the hotel?
You have no right to touch that Bible. Now think, what did you do with it? Where is it?
Oh, look, I told them. I must have lost it. I don't know.
I got it.
Yeah, he's the gentleman who left his suitcases with me. Mr. Cummings?
Suitcases? Come on in. Who are you?
Hey, I run the cigar stand in the lobby. I saw you bring Mr. Cummings in. If you don't mind my saying so, quite tight. Yeah. I'm going off duty in a little while, and I thought he needed his things. You see, he checked them with me.
Thanks.
Oh, I almost forgot. Here's his book.
No,
too.
don't leave the book.
Well, you forgot it on the
No, I don't want the book. You can have it.
I'll take the book.
No, don't give it to him.
Why, what the... All right, thanks for your trouble.
Oh, don't mention it. Hope he feels better tomorrow.
Well, at last, the Bible. You will die tonight. You know that's a pretty clever stunt, covering the Bible with a whodunit jacket.
Oh, it's Poloni. I don't know. I swear I just took
Poloni? No, not Poloni. Let's see. Third book, second chapter. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, chapter 1, 2. Yes, here's the address of the warehouse where the stuff is.
I don't understand. If you're not Poloni, who are you?
John Stang, United States Treasury Department, Narcotics Division.
Gee, man. Well, I thought you...
Look, you made my job very difficult tonight, Mr. Cummings. We traced the narcotics carrier all the way around the world to New Orleans, to room 302. But when we arrested him, he was clean. He didn't have the evidence. Room 302 was the link. The girl, Frenchie, was to take this room, and I would have followed her to where the evidence was stashed. It's as simple as that. But you stepped in and threw us all off.
Oh, why didn't you tell me you were a government man when you came in tonight to look for the pocketbook?
How did I know that you weren't a new member of the mob? Look, take my advice, Mr. Cummings.
quit stealing things out of hotels.
Oh, look. I never stole a thing in my life before. This is the
But
first
there's
time.
one thing that I can't figure out. Why did you steal a Bible?
You're not going to believe this. Honest, I just wanted to finish the story.
You have just heard Escape, produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight's original radio play, The Man Who Stole the Bible, was written by John and Gwen Bagney. Sam Pierce was heard as Cummings, Nan Boardman as the girl, Ben Wright as the house detective, Joseph Kearns as the devil, Jeff Corey as the clown, Mary Shipp as the telephone operator and the maid, Wally Mayer as the desk clerk and police sergeant, Peter Leeds as the traffic policeman and the cigar stand clerk, and Lou Krugman as the voice. The special musical score was composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Arthur Godfrey's still soaking up relaxation. And while the redhead vacations, Robert Q. Lewis is in full charge of the fun and informality that dominates Arthur Godfrey time all the time. Enjoy this sparkling variety show with its familiar fun makers every weekday on most of these same CBS radio stations. The address again? Why, sure.
CBS.
B.
For the best.
F.
Yes, yes, yes. The size address is CBS.
And remember, Steve Allen is here with Songs for Sale every Saturday.
Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have joined airlocks with a spaceship in which two criminals are holding Carol captive. Although the outlaws have meekly surrendered over the spaceophone, Buzz is still wary.
I'm going to open the inner hatch, Happy. Have your ray gun ready. Yes, sir.
You got us, Commander, with our hands up.
Keep them that way.
You can put those guns away, because we can't see.
Happy, the lights.
They're blinding, Commander. Well, let them have it, Rambo. They can't see. They're helpless.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol adventure, the Cosmic Ray Detector. Gang, it's terrific. It's sensational. It's new, different, thrilling. It'll pop your eyes wide open in amazement. It'll have you whistling like you never whistled before. It'll have you yelling with excitement because, gang, this is it. The swellest regulation Space Patrol equipment you ever had the chance to own. I'm speaking of the Space Patrol Pocket Projectoscope. What does it look like? What does it do? How can you get it? Well, gang, I have the answers. It's a model of Buzz Corey's rocket ship Terra 5. It's 6 inches long. It has 4 big tail fins. It has a 1-inch radar antenna. It's made of beautiful blue and yellow plastic. What does it do? It blinks on and off rapidly. Flash, flash, flash like a real signal light. It throws a steady beam of light like a real flashlight. It shows pictures on the wall like a real film projector. Complete with bulb and battery. Complete with film containing 4 Space Patrol adventures. Now you put this film in your projectoscope, you darken the room, push the radar antenna, and there on the wall you get a picture. To show a whole adventure, slide the film from picture to picture. Loads and loads of fun, and nothing like it ever before. Gang, to get a projectoscope, do this. Buy a box of Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. Then, with your name and address, send 35 cents in coin and a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, the Cosmic Ray Detector. In Commander Corey's central office at Space Patrol Headquarters on Terra, Cadet Happy is checking through a file of search mission reports from the Venus Command as the Secretary General's daughter, Carol, enters.
Hi, Happy.
Oh, hello, Carol. Hey, that's some outfit.
Like it? Dad got it for me especially for this trip to Jupiter.
Hey, it looks great. What time does your ship leave?
In about an hour. I'm going on the SS Space Queen.
Traveling in style, eh?
Well, I wanted to fly my own ship. But Dad talked me into taking the passenger transport. Is the commander around?
Oh, he stepped out about a half hour ago. I don't know when he'll be back.
Gosh, I hope he didn't forget.
Say, that reminds me. He said this folder was for you.
Oh, good. It's the data for my talks at Jupiter University.
What are you going to talk about?
Opportunities for youth in interplanetary government service.
Well, that shouldn't give you any trouble.
Well, I imagine the commander's notes in the Space Patrol will be a big help. Well, I'd better get over to the spaceport and see what's happened to my luggage.
Okay, Carol. Good luck.
Thanks, Happy. Oh, and thank the commander for these notes.
Oh, sure.
How are you doing, Happy?
I'm nearly finished filing the reports now. Oh, Carol was just here. She got the notes all right.
Good. You can finish that job later, Hap. We've got to get over to the spaceport.
Something wrong, sir?
Yes, Happy, there is. One of our agents was on his way to the security lab with some of those new cosmic ray detector units. He was waylaid and slugged. The thief got 6 of the units and a copy of the formula.
Fucking rocket.
Our agent got a brief glimpse of the man who slugged him. He's not positive, but he thinks the thief might be Dolph Rambo.
Dolph Rambo? Oh, where have I heard that name before?
Rambo's been questioned a couple of times in the past in regard to some gem swindles. He couldn't make anything stick.
So now he's branching out into cosmic ray detectors, huh?
If it is Rambo who did it, I think he'll try to get the detector units off Terra as quickly as possible. I have an extra detail at the spaceport now. Let's get down there and look around.
Oh, excuse me. Could you tell me where the interplanetary transport ticket office is?
Yes, I'm headed that way myself. Follow me.
Why, thank you.
Got the detectors, Hensley?
Yes. In a jewel case right here in my pocket. No one's watching. Hand it to me. Better be careful, Rambo. The terminal is swarming with Space Patrol men.
So what? Think you fix the detectors into a necklace the way you planned?
Yes, and it's a beauty. It would take an expert to tell the real gems from the ray detector crystals.
What about the formula?
It's hidden under a false bottom of the jewel case.
Slip it to me. In 10 minutes, I can be aboard the spacecraft.
I think these Space Patrol agents are looking for somebody. If they get suspicious, they'll hold the gems for a careful examination.
But they wouldn't hold me, Hensley. I've got those identification papers you fixed for me showing that I'm a representative for Jupiter Gem Importers.
It's too big a risk, Rambo. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone who's getting on the ship was thoroughly searched.
And what are we going to do? Stay here on Terra?
Ah, that's risky, too. Hey, look over there. Isn't that Carol Carlisle, the Secretary General's daughter?
Where?
Over there, checking her luggage.
Yes, it is. Looks like she'll be aboard the Space Queen, too.
Well, now, I doubt very much if her luggage would be filled.
Now, what do you mean?
Just this. You go on ahead. I'll wait here. And as soon as I can, I'll slip the jewel case into one of her suitcases. And after the ship gets to Jupiter, you can steal it back from her.
That's a great idea, Hanson.
Right.
But watch your step.
Go on now. Get aboard. I'll take another ship to Jupiter and join you there.
Commander, isn't that Carol over there by gate 12?
Yes. Let's go over and say goodbye to her. It'll explain our presence here in case the thief is watching us.
It's about 15 minutes until the Space Queen blasts off.
While we're talking to Carol, we can get a line on the other passengers. Uh-oh. Come this way, Happy. Just saw somebody I'd like to talk to. That fellow with the briefcase.
Who is he, sir?
Rambo. Get on the other side of him in case he tries to make a break. Leaving Terra, Rambo?
Oh, Commander Corey. Yes, Commander, I'm going to Jupiter for the firm.
The firm?
Jupiter Gem Importers. I've been with them for nearly a year now.
I see. I wonder if you'd mind coming with me to the guard office.
Why, is something wrong?
I'd like to ask you a few questions. It'd be less embarrassing in private.
Well, naturally, I have no objections, but the Space Queen is due to blast off in a few minutes.
The ship will be held here until we've finished our checkup. If everything's all right, you'll be aboard, Rambo.
Very well, Commander. I'll come with you.
Would you mind if we examined your luggage?
Certainly not. But, may I ask what you're looking for?
If you have it, you know what I'm looking for. If you don't, it doesn't matter.
Satisfied, Commander?
Well, not quite, Rambo. What did you find out, Happy?
All the luggage has been checked, sir. Nothing.
How about Rambo?
His is okay, too.
All right, Rambo, you can go now.
Thank you, Commander. I must say your men have been very thorough.
That's their job. The Space Queen will be blasting off in a few minutes.
Yes. I hope you find what you're after. Whatever that may be.
Well, sir, looks as though we drew a blank on Rambo this time.
Happy, you and I are going to blast off for Jupiter, Terra 5, and see what we can find out about Rambo and his honest business venture.
This is Gulf Rambo on Jupiter calling Burton Henchley aboard private space cruiser J437. Rambo calling Burton Henchley.
Here, go ahead.
Henchley, something's gone wrong.
What do you mean? Where are you?
At the Hotel Juno in Jupiter City.
Did you get the ray detectors?
No, they weren't in Carol's suitcase. I checked right after the luggage was taken off the Space Queen.
But they've got to be. Are you sure you picked the right one?
Yes, but they weren't there. The jewel case was gone.
Now listen, don't get panicky. The girl probably has it. Where is she staying?
At the Olympia Hotel.
Well, I'll be landing at Jupiter City in a few minutes. Just sit tight till I get there. We'll search her room.
Suppose she's in it.
Figure some way to get her out for a while. A fake phone call out to do the trick.
Yeah, but what'll I tell her?
Well, that's your problem. After all, it should be simple for an experienced conman like you.
All right, Henchley. I'll think of something.
Happy?
Yes, Commander? You want me to take over the controls?
Oh, no, thanks. Space Control is cleared us for landing. I'll bring her in. I just wanted to tell you that our suspicions of Rambo are well-founded.
Oh? You mean he's the one that slugged our agent and took the ray detector?
He might be. At any rate, this gem importing firm he works for has a dubious reputation. Space Control just relayed some information on it. Jupiter Gem Importers is run by a man named Burton Henchley. Henchley blasted off from Terra right after the Space Queen.
Did they find anything aboard his ship, sir?
No. Henchley was clean. Very likely he was the one who was talking to Rambo at the spaceport.
Well, I wonder why Rambo didn't go with Henchley. If they're both going to Jupiter, they would have saved a fare in the Space Queen. Well, maybe business is so good they don't have to worry about credits.
Well, it could be that Rambo intends to pick out a future victim among the passengers. After we land in Jupiter City, we'll pay Carol a visit and then check up on our gem expert.
This is Carol's room, Henchley, 1209.
Is anybody looking, Rambo?
All clear.
It's locked. We'll have to use the magnet key. In here, quickly. Now, let's get to work. See, we've got about 20 minutes before she realizes that there is no Professor Blackwell who's going to meet her in the Juno Hotel coffee shop.
Pretty good gimmick, wasn't it? When I found out Carol was here to talk at the university, I thought she'd probably fall for something like that.
Yes, very clever. Now, let's see if you're clever enough to find a jewel case.
And that suitcase there on the rack. That's the one it's supposed to be in, isn't it?
Yes, but it's been partly unpacked.
See, like I told you, it isn't here.
She must have found it on the ship. Look, they're on the dressing table.
That it?
Oh, it's the case. And the necklace is gone. She's either wearing it or she had it locked up in a hotel wall.
Now, what are we going to do?
Well, we'll have to wait till she gets back.
But suppose she's turned the jewels over to the Space Patrol.
No. Yes, the formula is still in the case. Yeah, it's still here. Well, my guess is she's wearing the necklace. After all, she'd never suspect that some of the gems are really ray detector crystals. Wait, what's this? Spacegram. Look, she started to send a message and was interrupted. To Secretary General Carlisle, Terra. It's to her father. Dear Dad, what a wonderful surprise. I found a necklace when I opened the suitcase on the ship. You really shouldn't have. It's all the farther she got. Oh, my phone call with Professor Blackwell interrupted her. That's a break. Supposing she'd send this spacegram. Yeah. I'll just take this message. Listen, someone's at the door. It's probably Carol. We won't get rough unless we have to, but we're going to get her out of here.
Here we are, sir. 1209.
We won't stay very long, Happy. Carol's probably anxious to prepare a speech for the university.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to find out what Rambo and Hinchley are up to.
Carol, it's Buzz and Happy.
Well, didn't the clerk tell you that Carol just got back, sir?
Yeah. Well, she's here, all right. The doors are gone.
Well, maybe she's in another part of the suite unpacking.
I don't think she'd mind if we went in. Carol, are you here? Uh-oh.
What's been going on in here? Chairs are upset, and the things on the dressing table are smashed.
Let's look around. Carol? Carol! Well, she's not in here.
Gee, sir, what do you suppose happened?
Carol's been taken away. By the looks of this room, she wasn't very willing to go. Happy, notify Jupiter City Space Patrol. I'll start questioning the hotel staff.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Say, gang, how's your morning takeoff? Are you blasting off with your jets really roaring? Are you riding your bike like Buzz Corey rides his rocket? I mean with your speedometer smoking like a volcano on Venus. In other words, Space Patrollers, are you supercharged in the morning? Well, here's the way that Commander Corey gets supercharged. He tucks away a power breakfast with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the super cereals. Try Rice Chex today. What'll you say? Delicious. And try Wheat Chex today. So swell tasting, you'll eat more and more and more and more. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex, the only cereals in the universe with that modern bite-sized design for easy eating. The only cereals in the universe with a picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside of the package, and the only cereals in the universe with that mysterious magic space picture on the inside of the package. The super cereals that help to supercharge you. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. So, gang, 1, 2, 3. Get ready to blast off to your grocer's forum right after today's Space Patrol adventure. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, the Cosmic Ray Detector. Buzz and Happy are investigating the mysterious disappearance of the Secretary General's daughter, Carol, from her hotel room in Jupiter City. Knowing that Carol's luggage would not be thoroughly searched for the stolen Cosmic Ray Detector crystals, the two thieves, Burton Henchley and Dolph Rambo, had put the crystals in one of Carol's suitcases. They intended to retrieve them before the luggage could be removed from the Jupiter City spaceport to the hotel. But their plan misfired when Carol accidentally discovered the crystals, which the thieves had disguised by working them into an expensive-looking necklace. While Happy examined Carol's hotel room for clues, Commander Corey has finished interrogating the hotel staff.
Find anything, Happy?
No, sir. Maybe one of the lab experts could make something out of these smudged fingerprints. I can't.
2 technicians are on their way over now. I finally located a maid that's pretty sure she saw Carol. She was with 2 men. They were going down the rear stairs.
Did she say Carol was struggling?
According to the maid, she didn't appear to be. Of course, they could have held a ray gun on her. The maid thought it was strange they didn't take the elevator.
Well, here's one thing I found. It may not mean much, sir, but it was in the wastebasket. Here it is. It was all wadded up.
A spacegram. Carol's father.
She must have decided to rewrite it. It isn't finished.
Dearest Dad, I opened my suitcase on the ship to get a book to read, and there was this beautiful necklace. I was so surprised. Necklace?
That could be a motive, all right.
Someone in the ship may have seen it.
Rambo.
Possibly. Rambo doesn't win for strong-arm method. Besides, taking the necklace would be one thing, but forcing Carol to go with him, that's something else.
Maybe she didn't have the necklace with her, and the crook was making her take him to where it was.
But where else would it be? Carol just arrived here. It would be here in her room or in the hotel vault. I'll check with the manager. A phone call, I wonder.
Phone call?
The desk clerk said a Professor Blackwell of the university called Carol shortly after she checked in. She told the clerk she'd be back in an hour, but came back much earlier. Happy, let's get over to headquarters.
Yes, sir.
We'll check with the university on Professor Blackwell, and then I'll space upon the Secretary General for a description of that necklace.
Rambo, I'll let you out here. Go to the spaceport and get clearance for our ship to blast off.
What about Carol?
I'll take care of her. Take her to the lab till I hear from you.
You're going to leave her there till somebody finds her?
No, we'll get her aboard the ship. Once we get her out in space, nobody will find her. And if they do, she won't be able to tell them anything. All right, Rambo. Get out and hurry to the spaceport.
Are you sure you can handle it? And drive, too?
Yeah, if she gives me any trouble, the paralyzer ray will quiet her down. I'll get going.
All right, Hensley. I'll call you at the lab.
It's only a few blocks to the jewelry lab, Carol, so don't make it difficult for yourself.
I don't understand why you're forcing me to come with you. You could have tied me up in the hotel room and gotten away with the necklace.
Of course. And within an hour, you have the Space Patrol looking for us.
All right.
Take your hands off that wheel. Stop it. You idiot. You... And now, see what you've done, you... come back here. Get back in this car.
Thanks, God.
Come back here. Come back. I just checked with the university, sir. There's no Professor Blackwell on the staff, and nobody there knew that Carol had arrived on Jupiter.
Then that call was designed to get Carol out of her room while they searched for the necklace. I talked to the Secretary General. He didn't give Carol that necklace.
Well, then who did?
I don't think it was ever intended that Carol find it. It was smuggled into a suitcase back on Terra.
By Rambo?
Or his partner. They figured that Carol's luggage wouldn't be searched.
Yeah, but it was searched, sir.
It was a clever trick. They simply wanted to get the jewelry through.
Certainly. No one would suspect the Secretary General's daughter of having jewelry that wasn't hers.
But here's the important thing, Happy. Rambo is supposedly a messenger for a legitimate gem importer. Why couldn't he openly carry jewelry?
Hey, that's right, sir.
Unless something else was being passed off as jewelry.
The ray detector crystals.
Right. Perhaps the stolen formula. I'll get it, Hap. Maybe for Captain Raymond. He's using Major Young's office temporarily. Commander Corey here.
Commander, this is Carol.
Carol, where are you?
I'm in the Jupiter Arcade building at Public Communications Booth 27.
Are you all right?
Yes. I managed to get away from Rambo and Henchley. They're planning to blast off from Jupiter in Henchley's private cruiser.
Are they at the spaceport now?
Rambo is. Henchley somewhere near. I managed to cause an accident with his surface car.
All right, Carol. You stay right there in the arcade building. Happy and I'll be right over to pick you up. Come on, Happy. Let's get going.
Expecting someone, miss?
Finchley.
Don't spread any alarm, Miss Carol. I got something here that's more painful than a paralyzer ray. Now, quietly to my car. Rambo should have my ship ready by now. I've looked all over the arcade, Commander. She's not here.
You checked the communication booth?
Yes, sir, and the cafe.
Told her to stay right here.
Maybe she saw Hinchley or Rambo.
That's what has me worried.
Oh, but they wouldn't find anything here in this crowd.
If they suspect that Carol called me, they're desperate enough to try anything. Get into our surface car, Happy. We're going to the spaceport.
Well, now you see, Miss Carol, that break for freedom didn't do you a bit of good.
Yes. We're hundreds of TUs out of Jupiter now.
Where are you taking me?
Well, your part of the trip is just about over. We have to get rid of you. It's regretful.
Hensley, look at the rear view scope. Huh? Looks like something's coming after us.
Spaceship. Increase the sensitivity. Let's see if we can identify it.
It's a Space Patrol battle cruiser.
Commander Corey.
Now, I am glad I brought you along. Corey won't dare fire on us now.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5, calling Henchley and Rambo aboard private cruiser J437. Commander Corey to Henchley and Rambo.
What are we going to do?
That's Corey's problem. Let him worry about it.
Corey to Henchley and Rambo. I'm right behind you. Stand by to be boarded.
Here, I'll talk to him. Henchley to Corey. Let me give you some advice. Turn around and go back and keep the rest of your space patrol away from us. We got Gerald Carlisle aboard.
I'm giving you a chance to surrender, Henchley. Better play it smart.
Corey, if you come any closer, we're going to push Miss Carlisle out into space without a spacesuit. I thought that would pull you out. Rambo, stop her. She's running back out.
Hey, you come back here.
Rambo, grab her quickly.
I'm warning you, we mean business. Come out of that compartment. Open up, you little fool. Open up or I'll break the door down.
Rambo, did you get her?
She locked herself in the compartment. What are we going to do now?
The only thing you can do is give up. You can't harm Carol now. Well, what's your answer?
All right, Corey. You win. We'll cut our velocity and stand by to deport him.
I'm coming up to join airlocks.
Check. Hensley out.
If you'd cut off the space phone, Corey, I'd never known we couldn't carry out our threat.
We're not through yet, but I want Corey to think so.
Yeah, but what can we do now?
Listen, get a couple of high-powered Atamo lights. Rig them up so they're focused on the inner hedge.
Atamo?
Yeah. Stand in front of them. Then when Corey comes through the hedge, step aside. Before he can recover from the glare, we'll take care of him for sure.
Join airlocks, Commander. Stand by with magnetic holding field.
Standing by, sir.
Airlock secured. Apply holding field. All right, Happy. Into the airlock.
Yes, sir. You think they'll try anything, sir?
We're going to be prepared just in case they do. Have your ray gun?
Yes, sir.
All right. Open the outer hatch. Now into their airlock. I'll go first.
You got us, Commander, with our hands up.
Yes. You can put those guns away.
Because you can see.
Happy, the light.
My eyes. Let them have it, Rambo.
I got the cadet.
Oh, yeah? Where are you, you coward? Up
Right here.
I can just see where you were so I could get my hands on you.
Where are you, Hap?
Over here, sir.
Then this must be Hensley.
Hang on, Happy, I'm coming. Thanks, sir, but I think this will do it.
Nice going.
Oh. For a while there, I thought they had us.
That was close, all right.
Happy, are you all right?
Yes, Carol, and you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, Commander, here's the necklace. I found it in Hinchley's pocket.
Oh, good. Hang on to it.
Hey, but which ones are the ray detector crystals?
We'll let the lab experts figure it out.
Oh, Wallace, look at the time. How long will it take us to get back to Jupiter?
I don't know exactly. About an hour. Why?
If we don't hurry, I'll be late for my lecture at the university.
Oh, fine. She was pretty nearly thrown out in space, and now she's worried about the lecture.
What's your subject for the lecture, Carol?
Government service. A job with security.
Security, she says.
A preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Hey, gang, imagine the fun of owning a model rocket that shows pictures on the wall. Imagine the fun of owning a rocket you can use as a signal light and also as a flashlight. Well, the new Space Patrol Pocket Projectoscope does all these things. Yes, sir, it's a film projector, signal light, and a flashlight all in one. Nothing like it on the face of the Earth before. It comes with a real strip of film for showing pictures on the wall. And, gang, wait till you see what those pictures are. 4 complete Space Patrol adventures with Buzz Corey and Cadet Happy. Listen to these titles. Space Pirate, Men from Mars, Robot Invasion, Mighty Missile. Don't they sound terrific? You bet. And just think, gang, you can show these complete Space Patrol adventures on your wall. You just slip the film in your projectoscope, darken the room, push the radar antenna, and there on the wall you have it, a real picture. So, gang, don't wait not a single day. Send for this wonderful new Space Patrol Pocket Projectoscope just as soon as you can. Remember, it's a film projector, it's a signal light, it's a flashlight, all in one. A 6-inch blue and yellow plastic model of Buzz Corey's own rocket ship. And it comes to you complete with bulb, battery, and film. To get a projectoscope, buy a box of Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the cereals that bring you the magic space picture. Then, with your name and address, send 35 cents in coin and a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good in the USA only, and may be withdrawn at any time. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are in an underground passage deep beneath Saturn City, attempting to capture a plutonium thief, Victor Drumlin. Drumlin has reversed the atmosphere pumps and is drawing deadly methane gas from Saturn's atmosphere into the lower levels. Protected by a shielded hideout, Drumlin refuses to surrender.
That methane gas isn't going to stop us, Drumlin. We can break that door down before it reaches this level.
That door is built to shield against an explosion, Corey. The kind you're going to hear in a moment.
What does he mean, Commander? He's bluffing, Happy. Methane isn't explosive.
It is when it's mixed with ordinary air and ignited. Listen!
What's that, Commander? He's turned on the generators, Happy. If he overloads them, he'll ignite the gas and blow up Saturn City.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Secret of Sub-Level 7, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol! Special bulletin for boys and girls in Dayton, Ohio and Baltimore, Maryland. Buzz Corey's own space battle cruiser, the Ralston Rocket, will be in your area next week. Don't miss it. A Ralston Rocket. Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Glenn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Bela Kovac, Ken Mayer, and Virginia Hewitt. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol. And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television.